is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Yeah. Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's just surely probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Friday Pablo in the Big O Show.
Oh, on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, Big O. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping it glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know.
Culture, probably Pablo, now introducing the man of the hour, Big O, a.k.a. Orlando Gary. Yeah.
All righty, we are ready to rock. We are ready to roll. We are out here at VSS West Pines. Plenty of rolling, so come on out and let's have some fun. We'll be out here for a couple of hours, enjoying ourselves at 12397 Pembroke Road in Pembroke Pines. As you can see the address there, of course, and we'll be out here.
Wrong side. Try the other side.
Oh, it's on this side? Okay.
There you go.
It's here.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. So you can check it out, and we'll be out here for a couple of hours having some fun. Come on by and get 20% off if you mention our name. So if you got to purchase anything, would love to meet you. Got to keep, distance, wear your mask, all that good stuff, but would love to meet you. So come on by and say hi. I see Matthew Walker made it in right before John Santos and Tremolio and the folks. So Call of Duty. Let's see what else. Who else is in here? Raging Dolphin Maniac, Mike Jamorazik, Ian from Brooklyn, Miguel Garcia, Gus 1388, Herman Cuevas, Samuel Robaina, Jean-Luc. It's all the boys and the ladies that are normally in. Ian from Brooklyn, NorCal is in. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you all out there for chiming in, spreading the word, sharing the link, liking, all that good stuff. And always appreciate the folks that are always downloading the show. We will remember today I had to adjust, obviously, because yesterday I think I went to sleep like at 2:44 or something. I think that's what it was the last time I looked at the clock. So obviously done late. It's just one of those things, like you get home, you know you're tired and you got to go to sleep, but you don't really go to sleep right away and all that stuff. So it's just
when
one
you
of those
finish
things.
running the race, man, you got to, you don't just stop at the finish line.
Yeah. You got to.
The inertia carries you a little further.
Yep. So that's what happened yesterday. And unfortunately, our boys lost yesterday 2-1 to Philadelphia. They're 0-4. We got an early game on Monday at 9 a.m. So it'll be an 8:30 pregame for Inter and New York City FC. So hopefully they still have a shot at advancing. They got to beat New York City FC, and then it all depends on the goal differential, and they could be one of the 4 third-place teams advancing. But they've got to beat New York City, and if you watched the game last night, they have their moments. It's just, but again, it's expansion and finding consistency and chemistry, and you saw at times there was some chemistry. It's not there yet. And you got to be patient, unfortunately, because it's an expansion team. I mean, that's just part of the growing pains. You know what I mean? If maybe they had another striker, it might make a difference, but the team play is still not where it needs to be overall. And that's kind of expected when you played 2 games 4 months ago, and now you're playing 2 more games since. I was listening to There's one of the shows that talks a lot of Inter Miami football on YouTube. I'm forgetting the name exactly now. I think it's like Miami Football TV or something. Uncle Ed and the boys do it, and they were talking about how should we question the coach, and you can't at this point. You can't question anything at this point because he doesn't know what he has. We don't know what they have. They don't know what they can or can't be yet. And so we don't know what their pinnacle is. They certainly haven't reached it yet. They haven't played their best football yet. So it's a process. And the sad part is that if you don't win on Monday and you're not able to advance, then you got to sit again for a couple of weeks until play starts again. And that kind of sets you back also, you know what I mean, as a club. So you'd like to stay alive in the tournament because this team needs as much playing time. This team needs this one in Nashville. They're the two teams that need the most playing time in the league, their expansion. So it's just one of those deals. And unfortunately, it sucks to lose, man. It's not a fun thing, but it really looked like a different team in the second half of that first half. They get the goal. It looked like they had momentum. It looked like they were playing well. And then you get ready for that second half, and then it's again, and Philadelphia's the better team, and they proved it last night. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
There was like 20, 25 minutes, a couple minutes before the goal, and a couple minutes after the goal. They looked good in the first 10 or 15 minutes of the second period. Wow, it was like, man, we got something going on. But like you said, sustaining. It's hard. Different, yeah.
It's hard. Philly was third in the East in points last year. So it's not like we're talking about a crappy team. We're talking about a really good team last year. So that's tough. I mean, it's tough for Miami because they're new and they're not established. But gotta hang in there. And, hey, listen, I went through the expansion Marlins and the expansion Panthers and, the expansion Heat. Hell, the Heat lost their first 17 games. You know what I mean? Until they beat the Clippers on a Rory Sparrow shot.
Rory Sparrow in the paint.
It's just like, come on. So I've been through the expansion with the Fusion. Okay, so it's this is normal, and this team has a better opportunity than that Fusion team. Even though the MLS was a much lesser league in those days, 20 years ago. Now it's a much better league. One of the things I was talking about with Whittingham and Dono last night, what's cool about watching the MLS now is that you're seeing them invest in young people. And you're seeing a lot of young players out there. And the MLS was basically an old league with a couple of sprinkled in college players back in the day. So that's the one thing that I give them credit, that they have invested in their future, like Miami has with Matias. That's a young kid, Vokun, who has not played. That's another young guy. So we'll see. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It'll all work out. That's the part I'm not concerned about. I know it's going to work out. I know it's frustrating right now to get it started, but eventually I think things will definitely fall into place. Let's see. Ian from Brooklyn says, Kenny Stills was never in trouble before, from what I remember. I don't know, what are you guys talking about with Kenny Stills? Kenny Stills is...
he went to one of the...
no, I know what happened. What I'm saying is, I don't know what the conversation is. That shouldn't even be brought up. Kenny Stills is a good dude, okay? Kenny Stills is a great dude. He got arrested protesting. That's it. And they all got on this person's lawn, okay? I think it's the Attorney General, if I believe. Here, I'll read you the story. I have the story here. I was going to get to it down the line, but I guess I'll do it now. And so Kenny Stills was part of a group that was protesting the death of Breonna Taylor, and they want justice. So in the process, Stills and a ton of other protesters organized a march to the home of Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron. The purpose of the protest was to demand action against the police officers who shot and killed Breonna Taylor back in March, right? So he, along with 86 others, I believe is the number, they ended up getting arrested. They went to this person's house, and they were demanding, obviously, justice and maybe a conversation, whatever. Cops came and warned everybody and said, hey, you guys have the opportunity now to get off the lawn, because they were on private property at that moment. That's where it becomes you're trespassing. At that point, you're trespassing, and now you're breaking a law. And look, I have no problem with protesting. But if you break a law, there's consequences, right? If you want consequences for officers, you've got to suffer the same, right? That's just the way it is. You're not going to get a pass because you're protesting. That doesn't make any sense, right? You got to have some law and order in the process. Now, if you want to have your vigil out on the street, and at least be the nuisance there, but you can do it publicly, that's fine. But once they went onto the man's lawn, okay, now they were breaking laws. And cops were called. Cops warned all of them, hey, we need you to get off the lawn so we don't arrest you. They didn't get off the lawn, and they got arrested. No big deal, bro. It's a protest. It's just like Susan Sarandon outside a nuclear power plant, and she gets arrested. I don't know if you guys know this, but Susan Sarandon's been arrested too. Plenty of people have been arrested over the years. I don't look at anybody getting arrested for protesting as you're a criminal. Now, if they were trashing the home and burning it down and breaking windows and all, now, gloves are off. Now you've crossed from protesting to criminal. That's the difference. I'm all for protesting. Please, with a mask. All for protesting. But you can't destroy property or anything like that. Now, in this case, there was none of that. There was no violence whatsoever. It was a peaceful protest. Okay? Kenny Stills is a classy dude, man. All right? He got arrested doing what thousands of Americans, maybe even a million, I don't know. If we start going back in time, I'm sure maybe we've gotten to 1 million people that have been arrested for protests over the years. So he is no different than any other American that is fighting for their rights. Now, Susan Sarandon knows that if she sits her ass right in front of the nuclear power plant and doesn't allow cars and trucks to come in and out, she's going to get arrested with everybody else. Happens. So Susan Sarandon, Kenny Stills, same thing. No big deal. Let's move on. Let's not make a big thing about nothing whatsoever, okay? Kenny Stills was doing something that Americans do, real Americans do, all the time, okay? They're allowed to protest. The good thing is it wasn't a violent one. It wasn't any kind of crime. Now, unfortunately, they had to bring a little bit more attention, just like the tree huggers, just like nuclear power plants, just like many do, that they have to just kind of cross the line. You know what I mean? It's not anything that they're doing. You've seen the people that kind of tie themselves to trees, and then they've got to, take them off the tree and arrest them and all that. Same thing. People that are holding each other, chaining themselves in front of a driveway into a nuclear power plant. Same thing. Not violent. All it is a protest. Chill out. Okay? Chill out. Let's not make it any more than what it really is. It's not a big deal, Big O, do you see the Jarvis Landry Adam Gase story? I don't know. I have not. I don't know anything about what's the Adam Gase story. I have no idea now what this is. So much time there's so much time you have to fill. I wonder what this buffoonery story is. That they have, because I can tell it's going to be a stupid story, and it's just something ridiculous probably. I don't know what it is. You're going to have to either send me the link or tell me what the hell it is. But I haven't seen anything about Landry and Gase, so don't know what it is. Please don't tell me it's another stupid trade story. Is that what it is? Are we talking about Jarvis Landry getting moved to the Dolphins or something? I hope not. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, America was founded on protest and civil disobedience. Boston Tea Party. There you go. And that was worse, because they really formed a ruckus there. What Kenny Stills and company did is nothing, bro. It's fine. It's what Kenny Stills did is what Americans do, bro. What real Americans do. They protest and they fight for their rights. That's it. He didn't hurt anybody. Nobody hurt anybody. No nothing. Okay? Like I said, it's just like the tree huggers. No difference. All right? Same thing. Good for them. That's what they're supposed to do. Justice for Breonna has taken way too long. Justice for the black community has taken hundreds of years, brother. Forget about just Breonna, like a couple weeks, couple months. You know, it's a couple hundred years, dude, you know? So we're way behind, bro. It's not just Breonna. We are way behind. You know what I'm saying? So what it is par for the course is what it is. But that's why we got to keep the fight, keep it going, stay on top of these people, and then eventually change will come because you see it. It's happening. Per the report, Stills was charged with intimidating and participating in legal process, which is a felony. He also was charged. Yeah, that's all. That's, that's nothing. That doesn't mean anything, dude. Cops can make it sound like whatever. He was on a lawn he wasn't supposed to be. Big deal. I'm not, again, you know, I see guys that hit women, and I see guys that commit armed robbery. Okay? You know, I'll rip those kind of guys. Okay? I'm gonna give Stills plenty of love here on this one. Okay? I'm not worried about that. Again, nothing happened. It's a BS thing. It's whatever. You know. Let's see. What else do we have on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, by the way, is 786-322-1105. Diaz says Landry never wanted out of Miami. He was tired of play calling and also his role in the offense and got in the way of the OBJ trade to Miami. Whatever, bro. What does it matter? So, see, didn't I tell you it was a stupid story? Okay, what's OBJ done for somebody? I'm sorry, I must have missed it. You know what I mean? Bro, Landry, OBJ, and Adam Gase, they're not part of Miami. You know what I mean? So it's like I figured, it's a stupid story. Okay? And Landry was overpaid anyway. He's not productive enough to be. You don't pay a possession receiver that kind of money. So just, you know, another stupid, useless story to fill 24-hour cycle. That's all that is. Why would anybody protest nuclear power? That's the cleanest, most efficient energy available. Well, because of the accidents that have happened, my brother. Okay? You know, 3 Mile Island had an incident, you know, up in Chernobyl over in Russia, you know, and when there's an accident, that area is like, you're done for like hundreds of years. You know what I mean? And if it's a big enough, you know, issue like Turkey power plant that we have on the other side of Florida, that could cause terrible
Turkey Point is right down in Homestead, actually.
Right, actually, yeah, that's right. Actually, it's in Homestead. Yeah, that's right.
We have one up in Port St. Lucie, one over in Crystal River in northern Florida on the West Coast. Yep.
So yeah, there are risks with all of this stuff. Okay, it's not automatic. You know what I mean? So people do worry about it, but I do understand what you're saying when it comes to energy. It's something that we have to explore because it can provide a source for us and probably at a cheaper rate. So yeah, I'm not arguing with you, but there's always another side to the story, and it's legitimate because we have a history of power plant failures and families and generations pay for it. Okay, and it's not a joke. You know what I mean? So, Ray Grulong has not wasted any time. He has sent in a super chat. What? Super chat.
No way.
Yes way. No way. Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super chat. Beautiful. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate you. He puts first super chat of the day for the Big O Show. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, as always, keeping it locked here on the program. So we did talk about Kenny Stills there. So that's I guess that's a good thing. We got that one out of the way. And I don't know what you want to do with Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham. Ugh, yes.
Should I even score that as a segment?
What? No. 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 No, that's just a waste of time, bro. That's all that is. It's just a waste of time. It's a stupid story. I don't want any of the three clowns here anyways. So it doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? I got enough of Jarvis Landry watching him here. Not good enough, okay? That's fine. He plays hard and all that stuff, but he doesn't make enough big plays to be paid the way he pays and the way he runs his mouth. And Odell Beckham is definitely a guy I don't want, and obviously Adam Gase, I'm ecstatic he's out of here. I just hope he stays with the Jets for 20 years. It says Titans and Derrick Henry getting close on a long-term deal. They better. I think it's 4 o'clock, right? We have 38 minutes right now to get the Dak Prescott and the Derrick Henry deal going. I talked about it yesterday. I personally don't like this gamble for them because this guy's going to carry some regret here. He's going, and it's not going to be some people, oh, well, he'll play with a chip on his shoulder. No, dude. He's going to play pissed at the team. That's what he's going to do. He's going to play pissed at the team because he's risking everything for 1 year, and he is the entire offense. You know, so if I'm the Titans, you remember what I told you yesterday about the Chiefs and Chris Jones? And I said, hey, compliments to the Kansas City Chiefs. They structured the Mahomes deal that in the first couple of years, it's not a monster cap number. And then in that third year, it's probably going to start exploding. What you do is you get some money now, since you have an easy year coming up on the cap, that you can maybe give some more money to Chris Jones up front and kind of balance it out down the stretch of the contract. And that way you keep the most important player on defense, and obviously you kept the most important player in the franchise. You know? So it's to me, if you're the Titans, you had to do the Tannehill deal knowing and saying, we must sign Henry because he is the linchpin of the offense. And if he sees that the quarterback's getting all the money and the quarterback's not the main person in the offense, it's him. Only reason the quarterback has success is because of him. You know, that's where you got to pay the right person. So I hope they get it done because he deserves it. I mean, that's the guy you game plan. That's the guy you fear all the time. So it's nice to see that story's coming up now, that he may end up, getting a long-term contract, even if it's a risk, which it is with a running back. But with that guy, definitely. Ray says, I agree. Jarvis Landry and Odell, yawn. Don't want malcontents on the team anymore. Yeah, I've had enough of that. I mean, you got to look, as a Dolphins fan, you have to learn how to get rid of bad habits. Okay? One is you can't buy every free agent that's out there. Two, it's really stupid to want to buy every free agent out there. Okay? Three, you got to let go of the past. Okay? I've told you this about when you have your friend that says, well, I don't know, I don't have too much faith with the Dolphins right now because what they did 5 years ago and 10 years ago and 20 years ago, and I told you guys what? Forget about that crap already. Look at what's gone on the last year. Whole different team. And this whole thing about Ndamukong Suh and Mike Wallace and whatever, that doesn't ever solve any problems. That's why they've sucked, and that's why they were terrible for 20-something years. Because they did things like that. You know what I mean? So you got to turn the page. You got to get rid of the malcontents. You can't deal with those kind of people. You cannot. If you're a Super Bowl caliber team, maybe you can deal with one idiot in the locker room because you need him and you need his talent, and then everybody else is helping you keep that person in check. But they don't have that locker room yet that has those established leaders that can help you keep somebody in check. So this is not the environment at this time to put any kind of person like that on this roster. Okay? And like I told you before with the whole Odell Beckham thing, I think we talked about that last week. Again, you show up with a watch in a game, and Brian Flores will lose his mind. Okay? Brian Flores can't deal with people like that. He doesn't want anything to do with people like that. So to me, that's why these stories sometimes, it's just reporters and writers filling space. They do it on ESPN. They do it in the paper. They got to do all of that. Why? Because they got nothing else to talk about. So you got to come up with some stuff. So who cares about Odell Beckham? Who gives a rat's ass about Jarvis Landry or Adam Gase? Dolphin fans, Alex Diaz, leave the past, bro. Leave the past. Move forward. Okay? Move forward. Let them, don't you see that? Look at the kind of people they're trying to draft. They're trying to bring on. They're trying to bring on people that can offer some leadership now. And that's what you got to find now. You got to find 7, 8, 10 guys in this locker room that are real leaders. And that's what they're trying to find right now. And the guys that you just mentioned there in that trio, none of them are leaders. Not one of them. They're all pains in the asses. None of them are leaders. WND, WLK 68. I don't know, bro. What is it? Win Walker 68. I have no idea what that would spell. But it says our wide receiving core is good enough for what we need now. We can improve next year. I agree. I like Miami's wide receiving core. If Devontae stays healthy and Preston plays like he played last year for a whole year, Miami's got a hell of a wide receiving core, dude. They got 2 guys that can be monsters, you know? So to me, I'm with you. I love Miami's wide receiving core. Let's see. Jean-Luc says Landry is getting older and he's not fast down the field. Of course not. I mean, he plays hard and all that. Possession guy. Dallas should also change their name, Cowboy, to Vaquero. Well, they do when you listen to the Spanish broadcast. That's what they are. Los Vaqueros de Dallas. That's what it is. The Browns are Los Cafeteros. You ever heard like the Mexican broadcast? Because that's usually what the Spanish broadcasts are. They're usually for the Mexican audience. And they call the Browns the Cafeteros. They got some interesting changes to the names and from English to Spanish when they do the NFL calls. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. Remember, Twitter is always active at Big O Show. Many ways to get in on the program. Let me see what we got on the accidentlawfirm.com text line here. If I can actually get to it, because what is it here? It's got me signed out or something here. All right, let me see. Now, I'll sign in now and get this thing going, and we'll log in and I'll get your questions in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. What else do we have to talk about here on the program? I wanted to get into a little bit of Tua talk. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Already a half hour has gone by. That's amazing. Let's take a quick break. All right. We're out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by and say hi, man. Would love to meet you. We'll be out here till at least 6 o'clock. Having some fun, talking some sports. We'll take your text messages now on the other side, and we'll get into a little story between Flores and Tua. Back with more right here on the Big O Show.
It's It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to AccidentLawFirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to AccidentLawFirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's AccidentLawFirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show.
We take it till 6. Let's see what Jesse in Minneapolis
Can I just say something, bro?
What's that?
That maiden goes really nice with that Greta Van Fleet shirt. It works.
Okay. I couldn't tell, man. Actually. I couldn't tell. I was just picking a shirt, and I picked a Greta today, and I said that.
No, man, the yellows, man, they match up. You did well, bro.
Right.
You look good,
man.
man.
I got lucky, I guess. Jesse in Minneapolis says, Orlando, I'm afraid I'm going to have to say it. For many folks, it's common to equate the black QB with being a running QB, when in fact it's not always true. I'm fairly certain that Russell and Mahomes run more than Dak. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's from our conversation yesterday. Yes, exactly. Yeah. That was one of our listeners that had a terrible read on, I think it was Tremolio. Tremolio, we love you, but you had a terrible read on Dak. Yes. You are correct on that one, Jesse. Let's see. Big O, Inter 3, Philly nothing. Gwynn breaks out tonight. Have a great evening, James and the DR. I guess these were before the game. Gwynn didn't even start, dude. I'm still shocked that he didn't start. Not that he was going to make the difference yesterday, but I just like him as a guy that can bring a lot of consistency to the lineup. Dougie Fresh says, what relevancy do you afford to the bell cow running back in today's NFL? If you believe it's a bygone player, why? And would Derrick Henry be the exception to that thinking? Yes, he is. He is the bell cow on that team. Yes. Sure, running backs can overpower CBs and sometimes linebacker, but it's literally jaw-dropping to watch Henry toss D lineman. Your thoughts, and thank you to Bill and you. Yes, thank you very much, as always, Dougie Fresh, for always keeping it locked here. Henry is a rare breed, because they don't exist, those bell cows. It's gone. The NFL now uses 2 guys or 3, or if you're the Patriots, 86 guys. Even though there's only, a lot less on the roster, somehow or another Belichick has 86 running backs on his team. But the bell cow has disappeared. It's just something, the entire position has been devalued. And then when you do have one, and the recent experiences of a Todd Gurley, and he gets injured, and a Devontae Freeman, and he gets injured, has scared some teams too, because the philosophy is you don't use a bell cow, you use a rotation. That's what a lot of teams believe, and that's what a lot of teams are doing. Hell, even in Tennessee, they brought in Derek, the Lewis kid, because they thought, okay, that's a change of pace guy. And they still couldn't end up using him as much. And Derrick is just so dominant. He's a freak. He is a physical freak. He is, we talked about Okoye yesterday. He's he's a more athletic, more explosive Okoye. Because Okoye was a good athlete, and he had decent speed, but it was his power that got him through. Derrick Henry actually has got some legs, dude. That guy can chug. He can move a little bit, and he's a really good athlete for his size. It is as intimidating as it gets. That's why I say that as we approach the 4 o'clock deadline, if Tennessee's smart, they re-sign that guy because this is the guy you take a chance on. And it's a deal that you're not going to lock in for 10 years. But you can lock him in where at least for the next 3 or 4, he's getting paid really good money. And in 3 or 4 years down the line, you have a window to get out of it if you can. You know what I mean? So if you need to get out of it, you're fine. It's not a brutal cap hit because in the 3 or 4 years, he made the majority of his money there. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm Tennessee, that's what I'm doing with Derrick Henry. If you don't, I think you're doing a disservice to your team and you're creating a really bad situation overall because remember, everybody on the team knows who's the best player. Everybody on the team knows who's the most important player on offense. And so now if you're mistreating that guy, how does everybody else feel about them? You know what I mean? Patriots sent a strong signal to the rest of their team in the offseason. Yeah, when you get old, we'll even push you out the door if you're Tom Brady. And so that's kind of part of the game here. And Tennessee's got to be careful because you don't want a disgruntled Derrick Henry because maybe a disgruntled Derrick Henry says, hey, I tweaked my hamstring. I don't feel that good this week. And you don't want that. That's what you want to avoid if you're Derrick Henry. If you're the Titans. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Email Orlando at Big O Radio Show. RVA Richmond says, Big O, keep an eye on Gary Jennings. He went to West Virginia, signed as a free agent with the Finns. Yes, I know about Gary Jennings. We shall see. They got a couple of those kind of guys that have some talent. And, the Strobridge kid, the Weaver kid, the Navy kid that they got in the 7th round. There's a couple of interesting prospects in the later rounds and in free agency that the Dolphins picked up that I can't wait to see them in 2021. Chris Jones is signed with the Chiefs. Now people can stop talking about having the Finns acquire. Oh, yeah, well, that's stupid. I don't know who. That's just when I don't. You guys know me, man. I just don't screw around much. When it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't like to. I see it on radio all the time. People entertain stupid stories because they can't come up with real talk. So they've got to come up with something stupid that really is never going to happen, but they'll waste their time. They'll waste the listeners' time. And then some of the listeners will participate because they're just as dumb as the hosts or lazy as the hosts. You know what I mean? So that's why when there's a Chris Jones story, I shoot it down. I tell you it's stupid. If there's an Odell Beckham story, I tell you it's stupid. It's dumb. It makes no sense. That kind of stuff. Why? Because that's the truth, man. None of that stuff makes any sense for where the Dolphins are at right now. But again, it's the programmed Dolphin from the last 20, 25 years. There's a lot of Dolphins that have been programmed to do the stupid things that the Dolphins did the last 25 years. And we've got to we'll get you out of it on this show. Oh, yeah, we'll get you out of it on this show. We'll get you thinking logically instead. Cookie Vice on a little super chat action. And he says, second super chat of the day. Glad to be able to support the show in any way. Open a Patron page, Big O. There we go. A little Patron. Thank you, Cookie Vice. Studley by you, my man, chiming in on a little super chat action. Mike says, I want to see what Gesicki can do, especially after seeing what Tua did with Bama with Irv Smith. Hey, listen, Fitzpatrick did a great job with Gesicki. He helped in Gesicki's development. So I'm with you. I can't wait to see Tua throwing to him, of course. But, Fitzpatrick starting, for the Dolphins, whenever that is, probably in 2021, that'll be – actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, if football gets delayed to next year, I doubt, I think they'll try because they're crazy in the pros. College is pretty much close to done, but whatever. If you wait till next year, then it'll probably be Tua. Because I don't think they'll keep – maybe they bring back Fitzpatrick as a backup. You know what I mean? This year you start him, but if it goes into 2021 when you really start this season, then it might be Tua, at that point. Because he'll be really healthy at that then. And, you can have your regular training camp and mini camps and all that stuff for the following season. It's going to be very, very interesting. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to me on Twitter at Big O Show. I have not, it doesn't say anything here about Chris Jones signing a deal. Did Schefter report it? Because they don't have it here on the on Pro Football Talk. I have the page pulled up. So I don't know if the person that sent in that text, if they saw it somewhere else, but I have not seen it here. Let's see, Henry Titans pursuing a deal by deadline. No, I don't see anything that would be a headline, and it's not a headline. So the Chris Jones Chiefs thing has not happened. Now they're close, like the Henry thing. They're working on it, but it has not happened yet so far. At least I'm looking at everything here in the top headlines, unless maybe there's a tweet or something from Schefter or something like that, Rappaport or something. I mean, if it would have been, that would have come out too already at this point. I would have seen something. So far, I don't see anything yet on Chris Jones.
I would say it's him, Derrick Henry, and Dak are the three, right? To see if they get extensions. Those three are the
Derrick,
big three.
Chris, and Dak, yes.
Right?
Well, Dak's not getting it.
No, definitely not.
Dak's not getting it. He even turned down a $100 million deal.
You know what's crazy?
Guaranteed.
Basically, they're saying, it's a 4 and a 5 year. That's 1 year is the thing.
Right.
You would think that somehow, some way, they could get this figured out.
No, because the Cowboys want to lock him for an extra year after milking his rookie contract. And he is smart along with his agent. You screwed him.
Yeah, you got me for yeah.
Okay, and you could have given me a deal a year earlier. Chiefs are doing it 2 years early.
He's making them pay.
Okay, so he's a Super Bowl winner, so you give it to him. And he's the best player in the NFL. So you give him 2 years early a deal. And I think I've said this 100 times already. Andrew Brandt, who worked for Green Bay for a long time, he said the elite players, we gave them the contract 2 years out. The really good players, the guys we really needed, stars, we gave them 1 year out. He fits that mold. Now your contract has expired. You got to play on a tag. You're Dak and his agent. You tell him, no, screw you, dude. I want a 4-year deal. You know why he wants a 4-year deal? Because he wants to do what Mahomes didn't want to do. Mahomes signed a 10-year deal because he's fine in Kansas City. He won his championship. He feels good. He's got Andy Reid. He feels like everything will end at a Cinderella story, and he'll continue winning and all that stuff. So he's riding this wave, this vibe, all that. Dak doesn't have that vibe. He doesn't have an Andy Reid loving him. He doesn't have the Clark Hunt family or the Hunt family, just embracing him and all that stuff and giving him a deal 2 years ahead of time. No. He's got an owner that milked the entire fourth-round deal to the end, now is tagging him and has not really negotiated, in maybe you can even say in good faith throughout the process. That's your franchise quarterback, dude. Let me explain something to you, okay? If this happens 5 years from now with Tua, and he balls, and he plays well like Dak has, I will be ripping and tearing the Dolphins apart for dragging their feet. Now, they won't do that because he signed Bobby McCain with 1 year out. He signed, he signed a couple guys. Now I'm brain farting. But he's already proven that he's going to sign guys ahead of time. Okay? So I know that Chris Greer's at another level than what's going on with Jerry.
He knows how to keep the guys happy and work the cap and keep your number right.
Right, and which, by the way, that's the other thing, which is a good point on your part, that while you sign him early, you also help your cap because you're getting a better deal earlier on. If you wait 2 years, then you've got to pay the market value, and that's what Dak is doing. Dak is saying, well, now you got to pay market value, dude. Oh, look, and Mahomes, he brought up the number, and guess what? The next quarterback and the next quarterback. So next year when you want to negotiate with me, guess what? The number's going to be that much higher. He banked on himself, and he balled out this year. Threw for 5,000 yards, man. 4,900 and whatever. I don't blame him. He and his agent want to go through this 4-year contract and then get another one after that. That's what Mahomes was fine and like, hey, I'll lock myself here. I'm with the perfect franchise, the perfect coach, which technically he is. I got to say, Mahomes has every reason to feel the way he feels. Why? Andy Reid's the best mind in football offensively. I don't know, 1 or 2, whatever, for argument's sake. The Hunt family is an exceptional football family. They are godfathers, obviously, because Lamar, the rest in peace, was the creator of the AFL. So we're talking about a great family, a great football family. Their fan base, top 5 in the NFL, dude. I mean, bar none, top 5. Always packed, great atmosphere. No matter what's going on with the Chiefs, they get the kind of support that, you wish every team had.
The family's been there forever.
Yeah. No,
they're instilled in the fiber of the community. They're one of the better organizations.
That's not even
right.
Up for discussion.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it just that's where Dak doesn't have that right now. I mean, let's be honest. Jerry Jones embraced Tony Romo a lot more than he has embraced Dak Prescott.
Exactly what you're talking about. They said today that the year that Romo got his money, the season, Dak's had a comparable season to what he did, but Dak's QBR was even higher than Romo's.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no reason because you did this with Romo.
Romo was a fantastic quarterback. Athletically, he was awesome. But when it came to clutch moments, that was something nobody ever had we never got to the point that we could have any confidence in him because he never got over the hump. He never proved to us that he was that guy. So I bet you a lot of people will take Dak even over Tony Romo now. But then, I told you the other day, the optics for Jerry Jones are terrible. They just are. You don't say anything about Black Lives Matter. Meanwhile, you were bitching and complaining about kneeling. And now you got your black quarterback up, and you treated your white quarterback way better, and he's not better. He's either equal or less than Dak. He's not better. Okay? He's not. Just look at the numbers. It'll tell you. We'll see. Cody Douglas chiming in, baby. Love it. A little super chat. Thank you, Cody. Thank you with the sticker saying cool. I love it. Robert Ritchie says, big fan from the Bahamas. Praying for you guys in Florida. Let's go Fins. Our secondary looks amazing, Big O. It does, doesn't it? That secondary is going to be fun. And against those quarterbacks in this division, can't wait. Cam Newton's going to burn you with his legs for a while until they break him in half again. He ain't going to burn you with his arm. I am not afraid of Josh Allen. And I'm not afraid of Sam. I turn over the ball and see Ghost Darnold. So I'm with you, dude. I love the Dolphins secondary feasting on those guys. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm with you, man. Now, I don't even think football will happen. I give the NFL a very slim shot now at this point with the way the cases are. We have already 112 dead today in our state. Did you know that?
I knew the number was up. And like we've talked about, with the cases going up, the deaths are going to come.
10,181 cases when I last checked, and 112 dead. 112. California and Texas right now. I'll tell you where they're at right now. Listen to this. We are at 10,181 cases, what I said. 112 dead. Let's see, where is California here? California, not bad right now. They've only got 2,000 cases and 8 dead right now, so that's not too bad. Arizona's at 3,257 cases, right? But they have 97 dead. My Florida has 112 out of 10,000. I was listening to it was the NBA channel. I think it was my boy Ray Kamla and Antonio Daniels, two guys that I've had on my show many, many times, both great. Kamla lives here in Florida, and they were like joking around but serious in a way, and they were joking around about how nobody in Florida wears a mask. And that seems to be the permeating attitude throughout the country, that's how stupid we are in this state, that all of us aren't wearing masks, which is not true. There's a lot of us that are responsible and we do wear masks. You know what I mean? I have a mask on throughout the show here. I have a mask if I go out somewhere. Last night, I had a mask the entire time while we were doing the broadcast. It's just a responsible thing to do, is wear a damn mask. And that's how bad it is that, but then again, we're the hanging Chad and everything else that we've had, go on in this damn state. But this is how they're looking at us. Like, we're the morons that are setting everybody back. And yeah, we are. We're part of the morons that are setting everybody back. It's embarrassing, dude. It really is. Josh says, it was Schefter. Chiefs are giving franchise DT Chris Jones a 4-year, $85 million deal that includes $60 million in guarantees. Nice. That is nice. They didn't have anything on Pro Football Talk. I didn't see anything on Pro Football Talk, or I didn't see anything in the ESPN website when I looked. I'll look again. I would imagine that if Schefter already broke it, they should have it on the ESPN website, and they didn't even have it on the ESPN website. Let's see. Sources, pursuing deal. They still don't have it here. So I guess the tweet is the news then. So nice job. Thank you out there. Appreciate it, Josh and everybody else. With Schefter reporting the Chris Jones deal. Now let's see if they get the other deal in place. That would be fantastic if they can get that one in place. If they get the, let me see here. Man, where is this? Okay, here we go. Trying to bring up this. Here we go. Bringing up Schefter's Twitter feed. Derrick Henry's coming off his best season of his career. The NFL rushing, carrying Tennessee deep in the playoffs. The 2021 free agent class stacked with backs. Future cap uncertain. The deal is now a major win. Titans and Henry working to finalize the deal before the 4 p.m. deadline. I don't see the numbers you saw on his thing. He hasn't put the numbers on here. That's the thing. Let me see.
If you had to guess numbers, though, would you say somewhere around what Gurley was looking at?
No, it's what
15?
It's more than that. It's what Josh put. It would be somewhere in the 4-year, $85 million deal, $60 million guaranteed. That sounds about the neighborhood that he would be in, but it doesn't. Schefter has not put that out on his Twitter feed at all. He doesn't have it on his Twitter feed. So I don't know. I don't know where you guys saw it. Maybe he said it on ESPN. It's funny, if he said it on ESPN, it's not on the ESPN website. It's not on his Twitter feed. So, whatever. I guess since it's not finalized or something, maybe that's just the report or the guess. Oh, Glazer broke the Henry story. Is that what it is? Jay Glazer, got it? All right. We will check Jay Glazer. Okay. Thank you. See what Jay Glazer has here.
485. Doesn't that seem a little bit high for a running back?
No, because you get hearing Derrick Henry has, in fact, agreed to terms on a new deal, hearing 4 years. Okay? Again, he doesn't have the numbers either. So I'm not sure where you guys are getting these numbers because they're not anywhere here. But it sounds comparable because $60 million guaranteed for 4 years, and with the potential making 85 with the salary, because $60 million is guaranteed. Those it's part signing bonus and roster bonuses, and then the salaries on top of that, so he can make somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 million a year. So that makes a lot of sense that would be the neighborhood and that they would be talking about it. But at least at the moment, not Jay Glazer or Adam Schefter have put on their Twitter feeds what the number is exactly what he's getting. There you go. You tagged me. Let's see. Let me see. I don't see anything here on the tag either. Okay. All right. If you tag me on Twitter, I haven't seen it. Hello, Alexa. Man of 1,005 holds. There we go. It was announced yesterday, Big O. No, it wasn't. There was no announcement yesterday. There hasn't been any announcement. I don't see anything here, bro. Nothing. There's nothing on Schefter's feed. There's nothing on Glazer's feed. I just looked at their first few tweets, and, it goes back hours, and it doesn't have anything. So I don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't even see it on Pro Football Talk. I don't see it on ESPN. It might be something that they came on ESPN and said it, but so far it has not been posted as final, which I'm not saying it isn't. If Schefter or Glazer reported it, it's money. It's going to happen. Those guys are really good at what they do. So I would imagine, but I just have not seen it at all. You know what I mean? Let me see. Okay, that's even better. Oh, I don't know what I got there. Let's see here. More contract. Oh, this is Chris Jones. Okay, I thought it was Derrick Henry what we were talking about. Chris Jones, $37 million due in signing, $60 million guaranteed for injury. It's a 4-year, $80 million deal, $5 million in incentives, marking a value up contract. There you go. So Schefter's got the Chris Jones deal. So now we're waiting the Derrick Henry deal. When did he put that up? Because I go to his feed. Go back 6 hours, nothing. Oh, he put it a day. Oh, he put it a day ago. You guys, you were right. A day ago, I didn't even see this. This came out yesterday. Nice job by you guys. I didn't see this at all. Chiefs are giving franchise Chris Jones a 4-year, $85 million deal that includes $60 million guaranteed. There you go. All right, so Chris Jones got it. Now we await the official numbers for Derrick Henry and his deal, because apparently Jay Glazer reported that Derrick Henry is agreeing to a 4-year contract. So we'll wait, which should be around the same kind of numbers, around $20 million a year is probably what they're going to give Derrick Henry. The guy's a beast, bro. Guy's amazing. So far, maybe I missed the Derrick Henry numbers too. Since I didn't see the Chris Jones numbers, sure enough, I probably missed the Derrick Henry one. So if you see that one, please send it to me also. That way I can get them. Okay, so there you go. Smart move by the Chiefs, man. Would have been a mistake not to sign that dude because that dude is as disruptive as it gets. All right, it's 4 o'clock. 1 hour down. We got a couple more to go. We will take a break. We'll come back on the other side. Coming to you live from VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by and say hi. We'll be out here for a little while more right here on The Big O Show.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
We're back. We take you till about 6, I think, something like that. We'll be out here at VSS West Pines. Come on out here and join us, man. 12397 Pembroke Road. We'll love to say hi. Love to meet you out here. So come on by and have some fun. Walmart and Sam's Club, by the way, will require masks to be worn starting on Monday. So for those of you that like to go to Walmart, I didn't know that Walmart was allowing people in without a mask. I had no idea. I mean, I haven't been to Walmart in a while, dude.
I saw what they were talking about is the fact that they left it up to the individual area of each store.
Oh.
And now this is national. You have to, if you're in our store, anywhere you are, you got to wear a mask.
That's it.
Even North Dakota, for example.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's just...
because they said, actually, specifically in the story, Walgreens, a few stores had done that nationally across the board. Didn't matter where you were.
Right.
You had to have one in. And Walmart decided to step into that area because, let's face it, some places i.e. us, have been irresponsible.
By the way, how do you wear the mask that's brand new?
Huh? Spray it.
You sprayed it? With what? Because it
The
smells.
stuff that kills.
No, but it smells, that new thing. I don't know how you deal with that, bro.
No.
When I get the mask, I wash them right away. Because they have that new smell. You know what I mean? Like when they make that something new, it's got that stank. It's a stank. That's what it is.
You spray it enough, he got the stuff.
He got a Darth Vader mask yesterday, and like straight out of the package, and he's wearing it. And it's like
it was sprayed all day yesterday and left with that Febreze, whatever stuff that kills everything.
No, forget about the killing. It's brand new. There's nothing on it. I'm just saying it has that stank. You know, the only time you really enjoy the stank was back when you were in school and they brought in, they gave you the new test and then you just grab it and smell it, because there was something about that stank that was actually pretty good. And you're like, it smells good, this ink, that kind of stuff. And you were able to get away with it then. But what he's got on now, that is some stank, bro. What up with you, Big O? Give me the number to the complaint division. You were late today. I wasn't late today. I told everybody we were coming on at 3 today. I was a decent human being. I told you 24 hours ahead of time that we would be on late today because I was on till I don't know, what was it, 1 a.m. yesterday, 1 something. And then from Fort Lauderdale then to West Kendall. That's a drive. Everything was closed too, man. Like all the drive-throughs and everything. Nobody was open 24 hours.
Good to sound that everybody's being responsible like they're supposed to.
Yeah, dude. Everything was closed. I was like, well, I wasn't really stopping anywhere, but I was just intrigued, and everything was closed. Yeah.
It's amazing how things like that you notice, like here, me, whenever I get it, if we have a hurricane and the power's out, to go like I-95 and drop down and stop and look at over downtown Miami and see no lights. It's just so eerie weird. You really notice when things are not normal.
All right. I'm with you. By the way, guys, for Dean G and Jerry Fakwe Verena out in North Carolina, yes, Reggie Roby did pass away. He is no longer with us. He passed away a couple years ago, if I remember correctly. Something like that. So, yes, the Cookie Man is no longer with us, unfortunately. Richard says, Big O, I think Noah, the cornerback, I'm not even going to try his last name, will be the best cornerback of the 2020 draft by midseason if they play. So, maybe 2021. Well, a lot of people like him. And not only that, the one thing I liked about the scouting report I got from my guys around the league was that this is not just a slot guy. This is a guy that has a potential to be a boundary corner. So if he can be an edge guy, then that gives you a insurance policy for one of the two guys if they get injured. The other thing it does is it gives you a future, because if somehow or another you want to move X next offseason and you could get one hell of a deal for him and you want to get a plethora of picks, then you move Noah to the opposite of Jones. You get my drift? So that could be a possibility that you do. And again, don't get nervous with things like that, because as long as your general manager is proving that he can draft and get more players, then you never have to worry about dealing. Another great example, if Austin Jackson turns into a player at left tackle, then you don't care that you traded Laramie Tunsil, because you replaced him right away with another first rounder if Austin Jackson becomes that guy, and then you got extra picks. So what you turn those picks into becomes a bonus for you. See what I mean? And that's the interesting part of this process. He's the guy that drafted X. So maybe he sees something in Noah that he saw in X, because he drafted X in the second round, and X became a franchise corner. So that's why I'm saying that it's there's a lot of intelligence in the way they're going about building a roster. And there's a lot of structure in place that there's like a backup to a backup plan. And you can clearly see it. And that's why I've been telling you that it's not the same old Dolphins, dude. Josh says Derrick Henry signing a 4-year, $50 million contract that includes $25.5 guaranteed. So that's $12.5 million. Oh, no, wait a minute. It's more. Because it's a 4-year. Wait a minute. Henry, a 4-year, $50 million. That's 12.5, 25. That's not much more than what he signed for. What he has on the franchise tag. It's not a great deal for him. For the Titans, it's phenomenal. Wow. Okay. Well, Josh, you were right on the other one, so I got to give you love on this one that you got this one here. So 4-year, $50 million, 25.5 guaranteed. All right. That's a steal. That's a bargain, bro.
That's 12.5.
Yeah, that guy deserves 20.
Maybe might there be incentives?
I don't know. I don't know if
it's the bottom line.
I don't know if it's a $50 million contract. If that's the max of the deal, then no.
No.
I mean, the only thing is he doesn't even have it all guaranteed. It's 25.5 guaranteed out of the 50.
Which is 2 years, and they're out.
That's it. That's what they're doing. They're guaranteeing 2 years, and then they're done. And if he can play, then they'll keep the third year. And if he can play, they'll keep the fourth. But if he can't, they'll get rid of him after 2 years.
Would you say with maybe the deal that Gurley got and it being around 15 and what happened with Gurley that he screwed up the running back market again and made it worse?
And Freeman. Both.
Yeah.
Both signed big deals and both got injured. So that has been the problem with all of that. 786-322. 1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786. Also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. Brian Flores, he was asked by Hal Habib of the Palm Beach Post about Tua Tagovailoa, Tua. Flores confirmed that Dolphin team doctors examined Tua during the short availability period this offseason, but was tight-lipped on what they found and what it means for 2020. He said, yes, he was examined, but again, examined and then doing a 2-hour practice and playing in a game, there's a process to all those things. Flores told the Post on Tuesday afternoon. So as far as to whether or not he can or can't do something, it would be hard to say. And that's what I keep trying to explain to people. When we keep trying, I know we all want to see Tua play, okay? Tagovailoa. There we go. We all want to see Tua Tagovailoa play. But the problem is the guy hasn't had any playing time to get into football shape. The guy hasn't taken a hit for a while. He is probably not 100% healed yet. He is healed enough to go throw some footballs. He's not going to be healed enough right now to take a hit from a 250-pound linebacker or 300-pound lineman. You know what I mean? And so we keep forcing the square peg into the round hole, thinking that we're going to get some kind of answer when really Flores doesn't even know what he has in Tua. He doesn't know how Tua's body's going to react after an entire week of training camp. He hasn't done that yet. You know what I mean? And not even getting hit. It's just every day that you're taking snaps, dropping back, planting, throwing, cutting, running, bootlegs, waggles, all that kind of stuff. You know, quick what's that called? Quick twitch movements. Where you got a lineman that breaks through the line and you've got to move quickly to reset again and throw. And all those things about when he's got to reset and set those hips again, all that stuff, he's got to break his body in for all that stuff. He hasn't even done that yet. And because he's been fragile, we don't even know how he's going to respond to that. You see what I'm saying? And then he's got to learn the offense. and he's also got to get the timing down with everybody else. We got to give the young man some time. This goes back to the first hour of the program and the first segment. When I told you that, I've heard people say, well, do we start questioning the coach or what? You can't question the Inter Miami coach right now. The guy's only played 2 games right now. The last time he played 2 other games, it was 4 months ago on an expansion team. He doesn't know who's great, who's right, what position's perfect for this guy, how do they handle adversity, all that kind of stuff. He has to learn about all these players. Same thing here. We can't force the issue of Tua. We have to allow this to develop with patience, and you got to do it the right way. Because what you don't want is for the kid to fail. And then in some kind of rhythm before you throw that kid out there. Because 4 of your 5 linemen are going to be brand new. The only guy is going to be Jesse Davis. Everybody else is probably going to be a new lineman that was not playing last year. So now you're talking about 80% of your line is completely different than last year. Offensive lines take a while to gel. You can't put Tua back there who's still trying to figure out his body, the durability, all of that behind a line that still doesn't know if they can play well or not. There's so much to it. That's why we keep asking these questions. And you should be getting the same answers, and I'm glad that they're giving you the same answers. We can't answer any of this. We don't know. I love the honesty because Flores doesn't know squat right now about Tua. He's got to see the kid out there and then deal with him every day, and then he will get a better feel for who Tua Tagovailoa is. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105. Samuel says, Big O, it sounds about right because the McCaffrey deal was 4 years, $64 million, and he's the best all-around running back right now. Yeah, no, it sounds right, but he deserves a lot more than that, dude. A lot more. I would have held out for more. And if not, I would have played on the deal and then leave the next year.
Oh, do you think
or probably deal with another tag?
Would you say because of his lack of catching?
Yeah.
He's it's the fact that he is a bell cow.
He's a one-dimensional back.
Yeah, and he just runs. Usually those guys, like Edge used to say, I'm an all-around, I'm an all-down back because he can catch.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry can't. He's one-dimensional. That's got to hurt his value, correct?
I don't know. Well, yes, it hurts his value. There's no doubt. But to this team, they've figured out a way of doing it without him being a big pass receiver. So he is still a major player for them in that sense. Because
so regardless of what he can do, you're still the main cog that makes that offense go. So you should get paid accordingly.
Right. I think he deserves easily closer to $20 million a year. He's really the everything in that offense. And you saw when they were able to take him out of the game, the quarterback couldn't bail him out. So that's why, to me, I would still lean that way and take care of a guy like this. But, hey, man, they got it done. Can't blame them. I got to give them props. They got him pretty damn cheap overall. Because to them, if they lose him, they lose everything. Omar Lopez giving us some love on the Super Chat. There we go. Thank you, Omar. By the way, it's 4:20, and we're here at VSS West Pines. Isn't it a beautiful thing? Come on out here. 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by. Say hi. One of our listeners says...
You hear that noise?
One of our listeners says he's going to be here at 7 for a grinder. So, there you go. Miguel,
I may still be here.
Miguel says, I'll be here by 7 for a grinder. Well, come on by. Come on by.
Do you hear that sound, though? It's lighters all over, lighting up.
There you go. Lighten it up. Nothing wrong with that at 420. Light it up. Did you see that the NBA is getting numerous reports on its hotline, on its tips hotline, so you can rat people out when they're doing stupid things? NBA is using an anonymous hotline for people to report potential violators of the health and safety protocols in place at the bubble campus in Orlando. Now, the question is, and The Athletic reported Tuesday that there have been multiple tips placed to an anonymous hotline to inform the NBA of potential violators. Those tips have resulted in players receiving warnings. Now, they know about, Bruno Caboclo or whatever from the Rockets. He stepped out of the bubble, and so did Rashawn Holmes. They were getting food and whatever, and so now they went into quarantine. Now, I got to tell you something. This is where, because, you don't want to snitch on anybody. I mean, that's just terrible on every level. But in this case, when it comes to the bubble, okay, you don't want to get corona. So if you got a guy that's acting stupid, I'll tell you this. This is the way I would handle it, okay? If I busted somebody, I would then go to that person and say, yo, just want you to know, dude, what you did, screwed up, bro, okay? What you did, you could bring corona in for the rest of us. I got a family. Just want you to know that I'm going to tell them that you screwed up. You don't like it? Too bad. Don't need to be anonymous. Forget it. At that point, just tell them, man. You know why? Because it's a pandemic. We're not talking about that it's a regular NBA season and you're out in, Sacramento playing the Kings and your buddy's out and he's out having some fun and he's out till way past the curfew, and he shows up at 4 a.m. because he was partying. You're not going to rat on the guy. You don't care about that. That doesn't affect you. But in the bubble, where health is an issue, and it can bring everybody down, and people will lose money because of this, yeah, man. Yeah, I think this is something, I love this idea of the hotline for them. Again, I'm not talking about ratting. Some guy's married and he's out with some thought somewhere in Los Angeles, and you're an Atlanta team. That's none of your business, bro. You don't rat the guy out for that. You may not like it, you may disagree with it or whatever. It's wrong. We know all of that. That's none of your business. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, if you got people violating the health code, I'm all with it, man. I got no problem because you are messing with everybody else's livelihood when you're doing this. When you stay out at 4 o'clock in the morning and you don't have the energy to play the next day, yeah, of course it's going to hurt your team some, but you're really hurting yourself more than anybody else because everybody's going to know what went on. Your coach is going to know, players are going to know, you're drinking water like crazy, you're dehydrated, all that stuff, man. Players tell me all the time, they know the guys that party and don't. They know it. They see it. They watch. Why? Because they've all been there. And the veteran players, man, they've seen those kind of guys come and go through locker rooms over and over and over again. I don't know about you guys, how you feel about this, but at least for the NBA bubble purposes, I love that they did that because they have come up with all the medical things in place. The stuff to track you, the stuff to make sure that if your temperature is too much or you start having any kind of COVID symptoms, it goes off. They got a bracelet that doesn't allow you to stay within 6 feet more than 10 seconds. All of these things. They have already put on, they even, what's it called? I think they put an antibodies test now they just added, for the NBA players. So they have everything at their disposal. You know what I mean? And in the bubble, they have given them everything they possibly can to stay there as happy as they can be for the next couple of months. You made the decision. You made the agreement, right? Now you got to live up to the agreement. And if you feel that you don't want to live up to the agreement because you want to invite some IG thought over in the middle of the night, and that person's not part of the bubble, that person's not quarantined, none of that. She gives it to you. You give it to everybody else. I get it. I totally get it. I read you the story yesterday of the woman that infected 70 people. One person ignited 70. Because that's how contagious this thing is. And it was just because she used an elevator in the same building and everybody else used the same elevator. How crazy is that?
That was Monday. One of our first segment. It's actually the third segment on Monday.
There you go.
The 13th.
We told you that. That's how contagious this thing is. I got no problem players ratting other players out. All I know is the only difference between me and those players is I would actually tell the player, hammer him, say, yo, dude, I'm telling on you, I want you to know, but I want you to know personally, I think you're a dick. Okay? I think you're a jerk. Okay? I think you're an irresponsible freaking clown. You want to fight? We'll fight. Let's go. But I want you to know that I'm going to tell on you because you're going to put me and everybody else at risk by being stupid. And that's the idea. For the next 3 months, we can't be stupid. You choose to be stupid, then leave the bubble. That's how I think players should actually handle that situation.
Snitches get stitches. In this case, the snitchy gets stitches.
You know, I'm just saying it just and everybody should be behind the people that are trying to weed those guys out. You know what I mean? Because you could cost them their careers. You could cost them a lot of money. Remember, you could get something permanent from this thing. So imagine you go out of the bubble and then you come back, you bring it, then you give it to other people, and one guy develops a respiratory issue for the rest of his life and he's got to quit the NBA, and that's because you were stupid that night. You know what I mean? Lawrence Phillips lost everything in his career, then went to NFL Europe and played for the Barcelona Dragons. Had 1,000 yards in I think it's a 10-game season or something like that they had back in those days. So he again lifted up his value. And obviously the NFL will give you 4,000 chances. So the San Francisco 49ers, they were dealing with an often injured running back. So they figured, okay, we'll bring him in. Well, guess what? You brought in Lawrence Phillips. He missed the block, and he gave Steve Young his last concussion, which forced him to retire. That's what you get as an organization, that you put yourself in a position that you had to count on Lawrence Phillips. That's my point. And so if you can make that mistake away from the bubble or on the field, but you count on the wrong people and they cost you a career, a life, whatever it is. That's why I say that this whole thing about the bubble, I love the idea. I love the hotline. In this case, this is the one thing that I would say, yeah, you can rat on them for that. Hell yeah, because that can affect everybody. It could end the run for the league this year. Just one test that gets spread to everybody else.
You're just being selfish.
Right.
Honestly, bottom line.
That's all it is. That's all it is. For what, dude? For what? For some chick that you can bang 3 months from now?
Most of this has been, again? You know what it's been for, Most of it's been to get food.
Right. But they have your chefs there. They have everything. Bro, do it the right way. Are you going to risk it with somebody that, some guy is driving for Postmates and he may have it? I hope not, but you just, you got to be a little smarter than that. So I saw this story, and I got to tell you, I thought the NBA did really, really good with that one. The other one that I thought was kind of funny, talking about complaints, was Jimmy Butler. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Jimmy Butler has had complaints to stop dribbling in his hotel room. So apparently Jimmy Butler can't stop practicing. So Jimmy Butler's hotel room in the NBA bubble, because the Heat star got busted by security for making too much noise. It wasn't a party. It was because he wanted to have another workout session. Players and staffers entered the Orlando bubble are forced to quarantine in their rooms for 48 hours before being allowed to roam the campus. Butler decided to use it as an opportunity to hone his ball handling skills. All right? So he was dribbling throughout his room last week, which led someone to snitching to security about a loud bumping noise. Chris Haynes of Yahoo says security had to go check on Butler, who was decked out in practice gear and drenched in sweat when he opened the door. He goes, he was dribbling a basketball throughout his room the whole time, Haynes said. Now the quarantine period is over. Butler now is practicing the old-fashioned way. So there you go.
This sounds so Jimmy Butler,
right? Isn't that Jimmy Butler right there? That is so Jimmy Butler, dude. That is just an absolutely classic story of Jimmy Butler. The only question I have, right? And you do that one time and that's fine and you can get away with it and you're good. You can't do that all the time because if you start sweating in that room and that's the room you're staying in, it's going to build some stank, dude, like a locker room. You know what I mean?
Bro, you have heard of the air fresheners and stuff that they have nowadays.
Yeah.
But
those air fresheners aren't going to help if you're going to sweat there every night, I'm saying. Not one night. One night's not going to do anything, bro. One night doesn't do anything. I'm just saying. And apparently it's not going on anymore.
You know what's another thing?
But my point is, can you imagine if you do it every night in that hotel room?
There's another little trick I don't know if you're aware of.
No matter what you do, locker rooms smell like locker rooms, bro.
Right, but you can yeah, but they don't do anything to help the smell there. Like, you know what helps? Put air fresh dryer sheets and stuff like that in your air ducts.
Yeah.
That's another thing that helps.
Julius 305 giving us some love on the super chat. But you got to love it, man. Jimmy Butler working out like that, like a fiend. That is just absolutely classic stuff right there.
You almost like expect the story. Like if we hadn't heard something like this, like, what's up with Jimmy? Because, what was it, 4 o'clock in the morning was a training camp?
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's Jimmy Butler. That's the guy that you get used to doing that kind of crazy stuff. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because as you all know, that, my friends, is a 24-hour talk show there on Twitter. For those of you that may want to send me some kind of a video, a long story, whatever it is, then a lot of times some of that stuff doesn't fit on the text. You can send it on email, Orlando@BigORadioshow.com. I am always checking that in the evenings when I'm relaxing. I'm always checking that stuff out. So
gotta say, the wall of glass looks so cool behind you, man. It really does.
Yeah. It's actually a cool look. No, you're right. You're right. And if you mention my name, you can get 20% off any of those things back there. Or for you, I forgot which listener. I think it's Mr. Garcia. I think Miguel Garcia said it.
Coming for his grinder.
Coming for a grinder. Make sure you mention me. 20% off of that grinder. So there you go. Mention yours truly. You get it off, which is always a beautiful thing. It's always a beautiful thing to get off. But you'll get off 20%, actually. That's actually excellent here. What else do we have? Music-wise, couple things on the music scene. Music history today. Couple of interesting notes. First of all, we start with U2. On this date, let me see, what is it? Do I have it here? No, I hit the.
Do you want to take a break and leave them hanging?
Oh, it's 35. You're right.
You want to do that?
Yeah. You're right.
I know how you like to do. Sorry, folks.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break because we're at the bottom of the hour here.
Just a couple of minutes.
2 minutes here. We're live at VSS West Pines. We'll come back on the other side. We'll talk a little music news. I also want to talk. NFL players are taking some shots at something that they have. They're right when it comes to this. The Bengals are being the Bengals again. I got to get into that. What else do we have here? Oh, and a note also that is expected, and I want you to be prepared for it because it sucks, but it's probably going to happen. We'll do that on the other side.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right, we back. BSS West Pines, baby, 12397 Pembroke Road. I tell you all the time for all your CBD needs, flour, tinctures, edibles. The women's face masks, my wife uses it all the time. She loves it, bro. I'm telling you. The transdermal patches also for inflammation and pain. They've got it all here. Remember, you mention my name, you will get 20% off. So come on down to 12397 Pembroke Road. We've got all the different water pipes out here. We've got the hookahs. You don't want to go to hookah lounge now, okay? Make the hookah lounge at home, all right? And they've got the, what's that called again? The CBD, what is it for the hookahs? What's that thing called again? Shisham. What is it? Oh, this is regular bud of CBD. There you go. It's not marijuana. This is not illegal. This is medicinal. Okay? There it is. What is it called? Shisham? There you go. See? That way you don't do the hookah stuff in a bar or a place where everybody else is doing, then you're breathing everybody else's stuff. This is your own. Plus, it's a lot cheaper. You save yourself a lot of money in doing it at home than you do at a hookah lounge, man. So make sure you mention my name. You will get 20% off of all of it. Anything that you want. Anything you want in the store. Whatever you want to buy. A mail, what's it called, lunchbox. You want to buy any of the little goodies and little stuff that they have here. I always tell you, right? Spencer's Barefoot Mailman meets CBD. I always tell you that, right? Because there's no place like this like that. They got all kinds of stuff. They got animals inside like they're embalmed or whatever that thing is called. It's funky. They got all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you. You're going to walk around and you're just, it's not a huge store either, but it's a small store that's packed with all kinds of stuff. It really is, man. It's a really, really cool place. So come on out, check it out, 12397 Pembroke Road, and make sure you tell them I sent you, and I promise you they'll take care of you. They're really good people out here. Anyway, lots of stuff still to talk about here on the program. Did you see where the NFL players are taking some shots? I'll get to the music news in a little bit. But NFL players are taking shots, and I got to tell you something. They are right on target because the NFL players right now, when it comes to social distancing and all that stuff, they're kind of in a mode of, are you kidding me? There's no way that you can social distance in football. And so players are kind of bothered by what the league is trying to tell them that they need to do in order to maintain safety. And listen, I think John Harbaugh said it, I don't know, like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. He was like, are you kidding me? How in the world are you going to be able to social distance in football? So the players, the Patriot players, okay? I'm going to give you an example because you heard from John Harbaugh. There have been other players that are talking, but Patriot players, this is crazy, okay? Jonathan Jones, cornerback, on Twitter. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you can't social distance in football. Donta Hightower, linebacker, Patriots, replied to that, ain't no way. Patrick Chung, safety, not a damn shot. They're tripping. Defensive backs Jason McCourty and Devin McCourty wrote on SI that players are in the dark of what the plans are. So many questions with virtually no answers, they wrote. As fear continues to grow for our nation, it is also being spoken about amongst us players. We will have an option to opt out of the season. We will be making our full salary. Will we be making our full salary? What if there's a COVID outbreak within the league? Is it so hard to make a decision of whether we will play or not play without knowing what the exact plan is? Training camps are less than 2 weeks away. I mean, really, seriously. How do you hold training camps now in the middle of this outbreak? It's impossible. It's irresponsible at this point if you're the league. If you can't bubble the players, which obviously in the NFL, there's no way you can do the bubble. We already talked about that. You have to take up an entire city for an NFL team. It would have to be like something ridiculous. And there's no way that that's going to happen. So that's why I keep saying, and I know some of you, you're going to be a Debbie Downer. No, I'm not. I'm just being brutally honest here. How does this happen in football? We have to put on masks just so we don't breathe it in a confined space. Can you imagine an NFL football field and tackling and piles of players on top of each other? That's why I keep saying that you're probably better off pushing college and the NFL to the spring. You hope you have the vaccine in place. If you don't, then obviously that'll be a major problem. But this is what we're living with. And you're going to make people risk their lives, risk other people's lives. For what? You know what I mean? Hey, look, I want sports to come back. We need it, man. We've been talking, 4 months without sports. This is supposed to be a sports podcast. You think I want to talk about COVID? You think I want to talk about Trump? You think I want to talk about any of this buffoonery that's going on? You think I want to talk about all this death, this depression? I don't want to talk about any of this. But what else am I going to talk about? There's nothing else. And I got to talk about what's on people's minds. And unfortunately, this is on our minds because it's altering everything we do in life. Everything. COVID has altered every damn thing. But again, these are the things that are coming up, and I don't blame. And the amazing part was that you're talking about Patriot players doing this. Okay? Patriot players. That's just so weird to see Patriot players openly talk and complain about anything whatsoever. Kudos to them. The NFL needs to buy an island and move all the teams there to create a bubble. I wonder if Epstein's Island is up for grabs. Rosendo says, looks like no football this season. At this point, it looks like NFL in 2022. Now, 21. I think we'll get some kind of a vaccine going by next year, man. They said the trials on the first one so far are working, but of course, way too early. These things take a while to develop. Dak Prescott was involved in the last minute in an effort to get a long-term deal done, but it was up against the 3 p.m. deadline. Per sources, the deal between $33 and $35 million annually, with $110 million guaranteed, but it was too late. Well, look, the whole thing there, Josh, is 4 or 5 years. They're dead set on getting 4, and then the Cowboys wanted to give him 5. Now, maybe they were going to raise the guarantees a lot more, so he would agree to a 5. I don't know. But that's been the main haggle point between those two. Dennis Aker says, good evening, Big O and my Finns fam. I hope all is good with everybody. Thank you, sir. Alex Diaz says, oh, will you be watching the Panthers-Islanders games? Of course. Yeah, dude. For sure. I love the Panthers. I have no hope for them, but I love the Panthers. I don't think they'll beat the Islanders, but I love the Panthers. But, yeah, of course I'll watch. I always watch. I mean, the only time I really, did not watch much was Marlins with Loria. You know, I kind of stayed away from it. It just, I was just so disgusted with that guy knowing that he wasn't going to keep players anyway. I didn't want to get attached to players anymore. I was tired of that. You know what I mean? I didn't get attached to the Stantons of the world and the Yeliches. And even Fernandez, who he's must-see TV every 4 days or every 5 days. He was a guy that I knew wasn't going to be here. He was a rent-a-player. Because then these guys weren't going to pay. And Fernandez, the day he was going to be up for real free agency, dude, he was going to command a sick amount of money. So they weren't going to pay that. So that's why I refused to get attached to these players. The Panthers, I love the ownership, man. I think they've done a great job. They inherited Dale Talon. He did a great job in Chicago. We all drank the Kool-Aid. But it's been 10 years now. And you got to draw the line at one point, and you got to say enough's enough already. And I hope that's what they're doing with the Panthers. And after they get eliminated by the Islanders, I don't know, because of COVID and all the losses, they may not be willing to make a general manager change because of the money and everything involved. They may want to wait another year, and that's understandable. But you got to change Dale Talon. I mean, he's proven over and over and over and over and over again that he can't get it done when they lose to the Islanders. But I will be watching, Alex. Okay? Just because I don't believe in them doesn't mean I don't love them and I don't root for them, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope they prove me wrong. But I don't think that that's going to be the case, because that's not who they've been the entire time. They've been the team that breaks your heart every single time. That's who they are. All right, let me give you a little music news here on the program. We got a couple. I always have a couple of news and notes to share with you guys here in the world of music. First of all, we start with U2. Back in 2004, U2 called the police after thieves swiped a copy of the band's upcoming album, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. It happened during a photo shoot in France, and the group feared that the disc would get into the hands of bootleggers and cost them and their record company millions of dollars. Interesting, huh? We move on in a little music news, a little Aerosmith. In 98, on this date, Aerosmith had to cancel their tour after drummer Joey Kramer had a freak accident. He was putting gas in his car when it ignited, and running the vehicle and causing him second-degree burns. So a running vehicle, boom, gas, lights his ass on fire, second-degree burns, man. Crazy. This one for you, Bill. In 1989, Pink Floyd played a free concert in Venice, Italy. Over 200,000 fans attended the gig, causing damage to buildings and bridges. Pink Floyd says free concert, 200,000 show up, dude. Wow. The other one is the Stones. After a 2-week run at the top of the album charts, Some Girls, their 7th album, became a #1 record. There you go. What else do we have in music news here for you guys? Couple of things. Let's see. Oh, are you looking forward to Wolfgang's album? Van Halen.
Not particularly.
I'm intrigued to see what it sounds like because the poor kid has taken a beating for years because he's Van Halen's son, and because he joined because they got him in Van Halen, it was all okay within the family.
Hardcore nepotism going on there, just a bit.
Yeah. So he's been working on a solo album now for 5 years, and he takes a lot of heat from people and all that. I am intrigued to see what kind of a musician he has become because it's so hard to do it within a family. Listen, Pete Rose's kid wasn't him. Ted Williams' kid wasn't him. Ray Lewis's kid wasn't him. Michael Irvin's kid, not him. You know what I'm saying? It's just more often than not, the kid just doesn't live up to the mother or the father and their greatness or whatever that they. It's so hard. It makes it that much harder on the offspring when that person is successful. The worst thing it almost seems that the kid does is go into the same kind of work. You know what I mean? Because more often than not, you're not going to be Ken Griffey Jr. where you're better than Senior. You know what I mean? And Ken Griffey Sr. was a heck of a player. But Ken Griffey Jr. is one of the greatest players of all time. You know what I mean? That's the difference, But it's really hard to be Del Curry, Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? And more often than not, you don't live up to it. You're not who your mom or dad were. And it's really tough on the child. And so there's a part of me that kind of roots for this kid. I got to tell you. Because he seems to have great work ethic. He seems to really be, you got to be dedicated to the music. Because if your dad's Eddie Van Halen and he's considered what he is on guitar, which is, one of the greatest ever, and then now you want to go into, now he's playing bass, he's not playing guitar, so he's not stuck in the same expectation levels, obviously, because he's a bassist, but because he carries that name. You know what I mean? And then, like what Bill was saying, all the nepotism that's involved in all of this, of him being with the band, there's a part of me that roots for Wolfie to have success because it's not easy to do what he's doing.
Let me just say this, okay, that we know. He grew up with the 5150 studio in his backyard. Yeah. So the kid had access to stuff. Yeah, he should be. That
doesn't mean just because you have access.
But if you work it, if you like, all the tools are there for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Doesn't mean you have it.
No, I get that, but it's there for you.
Right.
Let's see what you do with it.
Right. But again, it doesn't.
Not many kids grow up with a studio, full-blown studio in their backyard.
But music is a thing that you got to have the magic, man. It's just I don't believe when it comes to music, you learn how to be a good songwriter or player or anything. There's got to be something in you that it comes out naturally. You'll learn how to define it. You'll learn how to refine it. You'll learn how to create it.
Look, practice your hand. You can work your craft, man.
No, you can work craft, but creating music is a whole. You can work the craft where you're playing everything that Richie Blackmore played and Eddie Van Halen, and you can play it just like them. There's lots of guitarists in the world that copy everything that they do and do it. But when you have to then come up with it on your own, that's the magic of music. When you got to create it on your own, that to me is the most impressive thing there is in the world. And not everybody has that kind of magic, man. I got to tell you. That is
just a side note. Doug up in Pensacola was just inquiring about the R2-D2.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, that's a classic one. It's a classic one. He should get that one. That one's super nice.
It's like Star Wars Day, man.
If you need one, well, you got the Darth Vader thing, so he's got the R2-D2. I love it. I love that R2-D2, and I think that's a great idea. Get that one, dude. Get the Vader.
No, the Vader is. Oh man, you know how badly I want that thing.
I think it's awesome, bro. I think it's ginormous too. Yeah. No, so get it, bro. Get the R2-D2.
And like Triumph the dog,
they're so well made. That's the thing about all of them, not just the R2-D2.
The WB Frog.
Yeah, dude. All of them, the dinosaur head, whatever, all these things that they have, they're all so well made, man. They look so cool. Any of them. I would get any of them. But if you like Star Wars, then yeah, man, get the R2-D2.
And the R2-D2 does have a button on it to call your mommy to pick you up.
There you go. You're going to love it. Rock music has always fallen on Sure. I mean, Nikki Sixx, man, he went completely somewhere else than Motley Crue when he came up with his band 6 a.m. or whatever the hell it's called.
Tommy Lee and do something for Deadmau5.
Yeah. I mean, but again, that's the thing. That's why I'm intrigued to see what he can do. You know what I mean? What I'm gonna do with Wolfie is I'm not gonna form an opinion on the kid.
You're gonna take it for a test ride.
Yeah,
and
bro.
See what's.
Yeah, man. Give him a shot, man. I hope he has success, because it's really tough to have to walk in those shoes, man. Oh,
I think
if he wants to be an actor, then he's got to follow Valerie's shoes, and if he wants to be a musician, he's got to follow in Eddie's shoes. You're almost better off just going in a completely different direction. That way, nobody judges you.
Well, he took the base.
measures you, because that's the sad part. It's like, well, yeah, it's all right, but it's no Eddie Van Halen. And that's the part that sucks. It might be really good in its own right. It may not be rock. I just think it's,
Look, when Michael Anthony was beloved.
Yeah.
And in rock, we all know, because him and Stammy and whatnot.
Yeah.
People love Michael Anthony.
Yeah.
And the Jack Daniels bass, man, is iconic.
Yes.
And him taking, you know what I mean?
And he was a good bass player,
yeah,
too.
bro. Cathedrals, all that. Bro.
All four of those guys are excellent at what they do. David wasn't the greatest singer in the world, but he was perfect for that band.
He's the best frontman at the time. There was nobody better.
And he's still the greatest frontman of all time.
You think so?
Yeah, I haven't met another one yet.
You have mentioned Freddie. You've mentioned Freddie Mercury in the past.
No, he's the greatest rock singer. He doesn't come close to David Lee Roth commanding a stage. Not even close. Okay? He's energetic and all that, but David Lee Roth was, forget it, bro. Working the crowd, athleticism, showmanship, he had it all. He had it all. He's one of those few guys that I got to give him
I like
the
way the line runs up the back of her stocking.
Yeah,
all the little lines, man.
Too much, man. Too much.
But I think, getting back, I think Wolfie replacing.
We're told no sound. Oh, it's back. It's back. There we go. All right.
Well, I will say this. I have seen the flicker a couple times with the internet.
Okay. Yeah, that's not us. It might be an in and out connection. It might end up happening. Sorry about that.
It's just ether. We all know if you do internet or Wi-Fi, it's intermittent at times. It is what it is.
Another music note, Metallica. They've officially announced the release of their 2019 S&M 2 shows as a live album and concert film documentary, which will be available in a variety of formats on August 28th. They've also released 2 songs that will be featured on the album. Metallica and the San Francisco Symphony will feature songs from the performances which took place on September 6th and 8th at 2019 at the Chase Center in San Francisco. The concert marks the 20th anniversary of their 1999 live album, S&M. The sold-out show gave 40,000 fans the chance to see Metallica's song performed in a whole new light. The upcoming release will be available on a digital and streaming platform, as well as vinyl, CD, DVD, and Blu-ray editions. 2 different box sets. The exclusive Super Deluxe box set is limited to only 500 copies, and it includes the real sheet music used during the performances that were signed by the members. In addition to the collectible items, viewed the trailer for the set below. And then you can pre-order Metallica and San Francisco Symphony, by the way, at their website. That's pretty cool. And to commemorate the release of the album, the band has also shared 2 songs from the set all within my hands, and nothing else matters. Okay? Yes? Go ahead, hit it.
Hey, this is James from Metallica. Tune in on Wednesday to hear new Metallica music from S&M 2.
There you go. So go to their website, and you can listen to the new music from Metallica, which I think is pretty cool. Get a couple songs. The other thing is Scorpions. Klaus Meine, the lead singer, says the band aims to return to the vibe of their acclaimed albums from the 80s in their next studio album. He said on the new album, we hooked up with record producer Greg Fieldman. He used to work with Metallica and Slipknot, so we're right on our way bringing our old vibe from albums like Blackout, Love at First Sting, and even Love Drive. We try to focus on those albums and this attitude. If we get there, who knows? It's so many years later, but it's the spirit. It's the whole vibe around this album. To start with, it's crazy enough to say, let's make a new record. It's quite a challenge after all these years, while most artists say, okay, we put out a couple songs like the way we did with Sign of Hope. That's good enough. But we said, no, we're going to go the old-fashioned way and make a whole new album. And this time the focus is on harder songs. Sign of Hope is like a real short, sweet, and a nice ballad, just reflecting the moment in time. But the album will be more harder edge. And look, you can have your girlfriend, right? And you went out in high school, or you went out in college, or early years post-college, and you had a great year or 2 or 3 or 4. Then you broke up. And then you ran into each other about 10 years later, 20 years later. And you're wondering, can we rekindle that magic from the past? And then you try to go out with that person. You even have sex with that person. And then at the end, you go, yeah, the magic's not there anymore. It's just not the same. Because 10, 20 years, 30 years have passed. You both change. Life changes. Everything changes. It's hard to rekindle. It's hard to recapture that magic. And I'm not telling you it's impossible. I brag about it all the time. Judas Priest's album Firepower, for me, is one of their best albums in a long, long time. Not exactly rekindling that magic, but it's really, really good. It's really awesome. I don't know if the Scorpions can do it. Look, I love U2 to death. They somehow or another find the magic in every album. I can't explain it. I can't do it because you look at some of their last couple albums with, Songs of Innocence and all that other stuff, Cedarwood Road, stuff like that. There Is a Light. There's just so many great songs that maybe some of you don't really take the time to listen to the last couple of U2 albums, but there is some really, really good music there. And they really have a way of rekindling that magic album after album. Now, is it Unforgettable Fire? Is it War? Is it Joshua Tree? Those are legendary, but they're pretty damn good as it is. So the question is, can the Scorpions get to the point with their new album where they get the kind of radio play to get a little bit more love than they have? Because all of their studio albums the last, whatever it is, 15 years or 20 years haven't made any impact. They don't have any real songs being played on the radio. All their songs are of the past. And they got a great past. They got a Hall of Fame past. You know what I'm saying? But it's nice to hear them say that they want to rekindle that magic. It's just so much harder to actually accomplish it, So I wish them the best because I love the Scorpions. And I have all their albums. Every one of them I know. That's why I can tell you that, they haven't lived up to it because Priest has actually done a much better job than they have as of late with their music. Got to be honest. Iron Maiden does too. Somehow or another, Iron Maiden does a great job with their albums too. I don't know how, but maybe that's why they're more successful than Priest and the Scorpions combined nowadays.
The Scorps can get 70% of Blackout.
Oh, my Lord.
Right? Just 70%.
That would be phenomenal.
What?
That would be through the roof.
You can even bring it down to 60, right?
Yeah.
Because Blackout is so...
Blackout is the greatest album of all time for them. It's not even close. Not even close.
That was one of those. That was like screaming for vengeance, man. The same. Just put it on. Let it go.
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I can't disagree with that one. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. I see that they say A.J. Green and the Bengals aren't going to get a new deal in place. And I'm not surprised with this move. Why? Because the Bengals are what they are. Look, I was actually shocked that they were spending money in the offseason. And I was educated by Alex Marvez, the marvelous one. And Marvez used to be on the Cincinnati beat years ago. And so he has kind of an affinity for that team. And so he knows the Bengals organization inside and out. And I had him on my show, and we talked about this, and I said, you know, I'm amazed that the Bengals are spending money. He goes, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. And I go, oh, fill me in. What's this, you know? And he goes, they have failed so badly in the draft the last few years that the last 4 or 5 years, they don't really have much to show in the draft, and they don't have anybody to re-sign. So since they don't have their own players to re-sign, they have to go sign others to reach the floor of the cap. So they were kind of forced to go into free agency. And they tagged Green. Remember why they tagged Green? Because Joe Burrow wanted to play with A.J. Green. And I told you guys, you can go back and check it out months ago. I said, hey, they're tagging him, and they're going to use him for this year for Joe Burrow, and then they'll get rid of him. Because they're not going to give him a long-term deal. And A.J. Green now should be somewhere in the, 30 range, right? I would say he's right around there or a little just over 30. I'll look.
I think the last time we looked it up, yeah, he's in his early 30s.
Yeah.
Like maybe 30, he's going to be 31, 32 most.
Yeah, so you're talking about a guy that he's 31 years old, okay? And he's going to turn 32 at the end of this month. July 31st, he was born, 1988. So he's going to be 32 years old now this month. So he was working for a long-term deal because he got tagged. And I told you months ago there was no way he was going to get a long-term deal at that age. And he's injury-prone. So now he'll play a year out on the franchise tag with Joe Burrow, and then they'll release him. Maybe they give him a token year, but the problem is now you become 33, and you can't go out in the NFL and ask for a long-term deal at 33. Bengals, man, what a waste for that guy. Because that guy was a hell of a talent. He would have been an awesome receiver for a team that's like a legit champion-type contender. Sad. But I feel bad for him.
So
man.
you think all these off-season acquisitions and this and AJ, this was all to get Burrow to...
No, it was... Well, no. The acquisitions were bogus because they just had to get to the floor of the cap, and they couldn't get to the floor of the cap.
Oh, so they're just falling within the structure of the agreement.
Right. Now, they did sign a couple players that are pretty decent now. Maybe they become a better team because of it. But they're still not going to get anywhere with Zach Taylor at head coach.
This also helps the cause of Burrow not going on. And, if the Bengals sign me, I'm not going to be there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. But he's an Ohio kid, so he's going to do all the right things right now. But eventually he'll get tired of
So you think after
Brown
5 years, it's a tag. What do you get, 3 tags and then you're out? Is that what they're allowed to do?
Yes.
So he's looking at 5 plus 3, possibly 8 years, and 9th year.
He can become a free agent.
He finally can get out from under.
Although I think
the bungles.
But think about it. That tag is going to be like $60 million.
Well, because look, Dak. They said that next year if he gets retagged, they're looking at $38 million.
Well, they won't tag him. They won't tag him next year. If they do, it's I don't even know how they can.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking
I know
about
what you're
where
saying,
the number is next year. We're looking at $38 million on a quarterback.
Right. So 5 years from now?
Cha-ching, man.
Yeah. 5 years from now?
It's here. Let's do that. It's a 7-year because this year was 31, 38.
Yep.
You do it by 7. You're absolutely right. You are in 5 years. It's $60 million every bit.
And Troy Ortiz follows up. Oh, do you think Burrow can turn Cincinnati into a consistent winner? I have my doubts due to bad ownership. No, he won't do it. I'm convinced he'll never do it. Nobody will do it. Joe Montana can't make them a winner. Not with Mike Brown in the way. All right? So, yeah, no shot. They're screwed, bro. They got Mike Brown as an owner. That's all you need to know. When you got Mike Brown as an owner.
When you're one of those like the Knicks or Washington right now, it's the owner. You know what I mean? How this isn't like, we could all go and the guy's got to decide to sell the team. Can the fans all get together and go to the NFL office? You know what I mean? 5,000 of them outside. Make this guy get rid of the team.
Well, they can try, but unless he's a racist or you're doing a Dan Snyder thing that, hey, yo, we need to change this or you're out, it has to be something like that. If not, they can't force you to sell. They couldn't force Jeffrey Lurie to sell.
So as long as you just run the organization like a jerk and that you
can be incompetent.
You just like fall under the
Yeah, you can be incompetent. What you can't be is racist.
Right.
What you can't be is something that's going to cost them in their bottom line. In other words.
To put a bad smack to the NFL.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bad news for Kevin Durant. His show has been canceled by ESPN. The Boardroom, featuring Durant, Jay Williams, and Durant's agent, Rich Kleinman, will not be renewed after being on ESPN Plus for 2 seasons. Okay? So just in case if you were looking for it, now there's no public metrics to show on this platform, but ESPN is able to internally identify engagement and its impact on the $4.99 month per base subscription service. The Boardroom is not being renewed following 2 seasons on ESPN. They said in a statement, 35 Ventures are great partners, and we are actively working on a creative way to continue bringing the Boardroom to sports fans across our platform in the year ahead. The Boardroom is bigger and better than ever, Kleinman tweeted. We built something to highlight the incredible stories of young entrepreneurs that come from nothing. We tell feel-good stories for young people to relate to and be inspired by, and we want it to be free. Theboardroom.tv. So the Boardroom will continue on a multimedia service in collaboration with some colleagues, and they now have that free platform, theboardroom.tv. So there you go. So if you are a fan of the Boardroom, you will be able to watch the Boardroom on its own platform now. Hey, listen, you can do that nowadays. You don't need a TV channel. The internet will give you all the exposure you need. People will find you if they want to look for you. I never really watched the Boardroom. I never watched one episode of that. So I don't know if it was any good or not. I'm not sure. So any of you out there watch the Boardroom, you can tell me, but I can't say that I know a lot about the Boardroom and that being a.
I would venture to guess that that's more probably people in the Minnesota area, considering that was his main.
Durant?
Oh, I'm sorry, Oklahoma City, maybe.
But
Texas, where he's from
in
school.
Brooklyn now, and he went to Texas and then played for Seattle. Didn't he?
Texas, yes.
Didn't they play? He played in Seattle for a year or two or whatever, and then they went to. Then they moved, right?
No, no, the Golden State.
No, that's after. But didn't he get drafted by?
No, I don't think he was Seattle. They had already moved, didn't they?
I don't know now. Now I'm confused.
I'm pretty sure they had already moved. You know what? That was probably about the time that they were going to, and I want to say there was like, you're about to get this guy and you're leaving Seattle. Or like, what the hell are you doing?
I think he got drafted by OKC. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me see. I'll look at it now. I'll tell you. No, Seattle. 1 year.
It was 1 year.
Yeah.
That's right?
07, 08
like
in
I
Seattle.
Said, it's like you got this guy, you're going to leave now. Seattle, serious.
Well, they couldn't give him the arena. Yeah, so he played 1 year in Seattle, then OKC, and then Golden State, and now Brooklyn. So he's got 4 places. But again, it's more about his agent and him and telling the stories and all that stuff and reaching all kinds of people. So there you go. So he did. I thought he played 1 year. I thought maybe I was wrong, but
and you're absolutely right. And I do remember that it was like, man, you got Durant, you got something to build on, and now you're
Yep.
going to leave? Are you serious?
Yep. Did Inter win last night? Seriously, Myron, you're going to ask that? You don't have a phone, bro? No, we lost, bro, 2-1.
Look, we did look good for about 20, 25 minutes, right?
Yeah.
When we scored the goal, there was like 10 minutes of looking good in the first 15 of the second half.
Yeah.
We looked good. Other than that.
But in today's world, it's funny, Myron. I gotta laugh at it, bro. Because in today's world, I mean, you gotta have that phone.
There's
active.
so many avenues to be able to look it up, right?
Yeah, you gotta have that phone active, bro. It gives you the scores. You know what I'm saying? All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. I saw a Barry Jackson article, and Barry was talking about how this could be, you might not ever get to see Greg Rousseau or Brevin Knight again. And that's because both players, the tight end and the D lineman, if there's no college football, those guys will not end up playing next year. That's why I keep saying that if you can get the NFL and college to swing over to the spring, let them play their seasons out, delay the draft after, let both football seasons play out, then go through the process of the draft, then maybe you can keep all the top players because they're playing for draft position now. You know what I mean? And that would obviously help a lot of players. But if you're the University of Miami and you're trying to rebuild now, and these are two clearly, I mean, come on, dude. That tight end's a first rounder, bro. He's a stud. Love to see him next to Gesicki. Put it that way. And then obviously what we've seen from Rousseau, he looks like he is the real deal at D-line, and this is a guy that's going to go in the first or second round, right? So what happens if they do cancel the fall season, which is what I expect, and then they push it to next year? A lot of the stars are going to say, yeah, I'm done. And that sucks. That sucks for Manny because, man, Manny did all the right things this offseason to try to correct the disaster of a year he had as a first-year head coach. You know what I mean? Manny really needed a strong offseason, and to his credit, he had a really strong offseason, man. Okay? Look, I'm a Manny fan, but I'm the first guy to tell you he was a disaster last year. It was a joke what Manny Diaz did last year. It was insulting as a coach. How unprepared his team was time and time again. Okay? He showed us last year that he was not ready to be a head coach. This offseason, he attacked every issue pretty much they had and did something really positive about it. Now he's got to prove that he can put it all together because he couldn't put it all together last year. But if you don't have Gregory Rousseau and you don't have, Brevin Knight at tight end, and, that starts to cause some real problems for you now. That's a hell of a drop-off now for Miami. It would really suck if they end up doing that. Jordan.
Jordan, Brevin Jordan, I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm thinking the basketball player.
You know something? You look at the quarterback he got, then he got the tackle from Houston.
Yeah.
He got the defensive line kid from USC to come over.
Yeah.
I mean, man.
Got the offensive coordinator.
Yes. That's
I mean, he did everything.
He did it. I don't think you could say there's anything else Manny could do to help the cause.
No,
right?
I got to give Manny a ton of credit, bro. He did what he was supposed to do in the offseason. Whether it works out or not,
right? If it transfers to Saturday production on the field, that's
up to him, and that he's got to prove to all of us that he can actually get it done. You know what I mean?
Listen to that Louisiana Tech, that bowl game. That was just
to
get any lower than that, man.
It's terrible. Well, winning the Eastern Michigan or whatever it was, and they were like celebrating, like beating that crap team.
Well, dancing on the sideline while you're losing to FIU.
Yeah.
Coming out of the half.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Another thing that I want to give you guys a heads up on. Do you know who Gina Carano is?
It sounds familiar.
She is a former MMA star, and she is now like a action actress. You know what I mean? She does all kinds of action movies.
Is she a stunt?
She was actually in. She's the woman in Mandalorian.
Really?
That's Gina Carano.
Okay.
Okay.
When they're in the
Mandalorian, the only woman that's in it.
Right. When they're in the little town or whatever.
She's everywhere.
Yeah,
She's a badass.
Yeah.
She's like She joins them like in the third episode, and she's
warrior
there all the way
princess.
through. Yeah,
she's warrior chick.
Right. So, she, by the way, I don't know if you guys she got banned. Well, her picture got banned by IG. I got to tell you something. I'm a fan of her work, as an actress. I enjoy watching her action movies and stuff. I think she actually does a good job, man. But I gotta say that props to her on her IG pic. She put a shot that was legendary. That's all I can say. And Gina, you look phenomenal in that picture. I can't show you the picture. I'm gonna show it to Bill because it does have some nudity in it.
Really?
Yes.
Yay, go.
Yes. And so I just wanted to throw it out there because, just in case if you can't find
everybody's wondering when are you twittering the site, man.
Well, no, I'm not gonna Twitter it. But if you go to blocksportsonline.com, you can find it there. And Gina is in her glory, and all I can tell you is monster props to her, and talent shining through is all I can say. But apparently IG was pissed off at the picture, so they took it down. So she hated that they censored her, and they took it down.
Doesn't IG? Oh wow.
Yes. Yeah, I don't want to show it, but it's a phenomenal picture.
Those look real.
Oh yeah, and they're glorious. So I'm just saying, props to Gina Carano. And for those of you out there that you didn't know about it, you're welcome.
Because of the Disney connection, is there no way she's brought back to the Mandalorian because of such picture?
No, I'm not.
Right?
I'm sure she will be brought back. I am sure for the Mandalorian. I'm sure they will bring her back. Okay.
But he got 3 months.
Troy Ortiz is going, show it. Oh, show it. Go to Black Sports Online. Okay. They have it there. All right. That's all. I told you exactly where to go. BlackSportsOnline.com. Go there and you will find it. The other thing I was going to say, Megan Thee Stallion. Did you guys hear about this? She got shot twice in the foot. And let me just give Megan some advice, okay? Because she was in some party in the Hollywood Hills. There is a pandemic going on. You're a superstar now, Megan, okay? People know you everywhere. You're making money left and right. You just got a Fenty deal from Riri. Okay? You're on top of the world right now. And I tell this to every entertainer, every athlete, you name it, anybody that's famous and at another level. Associate yourself with people that have as much to lose as you do from here on out, Megan. Okay? It's my advice for Russell Wilson. It's my advice for Tom Cruise. It's my advice for anybody like that. Any of these kind of people that are super famous and have money. Look, I'm not telling you can't find happiness with average people and regular people, but some people, when they make it, they kind of want to go back to where they came from sometimes. And you know what? Sometimes you got to leave that life behind. You got to leave certain friends behind. You got to leave some family members behind. Because when you're Megan Thee Stallion, you're going to have people now going after you to bring you down. Okay? And you got to be smarter than that. And she goes to a party that she ends up getting shot twice. Cops were nice enough. They took her to the hospital. They pulled her over because they were pulling the car over, and the guy that was with her had a gun. And he didn't have a license for the gun and all that, so he got arrested for all that. But in the process, they saw that she was shot from the party because there were shots fired in that party, and people fled and all that, and Megan got shot. And I'm just saying, you know, you've gotten to this point. You got all this status now. You got to be smarter than that, man. You got to stop associating with people that don't have anything to lose. Okay? That's always my suggestion. You're Pat Mahomes, dude, do not be socializing with normal people. No. Sorry. Those kind of environments need to be controlled. You can't just show up at some party for nothing, and there's a pandemic going on. What about if you get COVID? What about if it does something permanent to you and it ruins your entertainment career? This woman's on top of the world right now. I'm just saying, Megan, be a little smarter, sweetheart. Damn. Oh, what's your opinion on Trump's comments on the Confederate flag today, saying it's freedom of speech to defend? Plus, did you see one of his advisors showing his white power sign and over-tweet racism is real? I have not seen any of that, but none of that would surprise me. I mean, the guy's openly racist, dude. I mean, what more do you need? You know what it is what it is. Thank you, by the way. Myron giving us a little love on the Super Chat. Thank you, Myron. Appreciate you. But, I mean, at this point, dude, I'm not surprised of anything. I don't know if you saw what they did yesterday. They're eliminating the CDC now. All of the COVID information goes directly to the White House now. And then they're going to pass on the information to us. Boy, you got to
Sounds like a lot of fudging going on here.
Yeah, as wrong as you've been, you're gonna try to fudge everything to make you look better. If you don't see what's wrong with that, I can't help you. Look, man, some people are convinced with this guy. I can't help. I know this. I have a really good friend of mine that's a Trumpy. You know, he's one of my best friends. What are you gonna do? I mean, it is what it is. The people that are in line with him, they're just convinced. You know, and some people make it a party thing. That's where I don't. Well, I'm gonna still vote for him because I can't vote for Biden. I understand that, but you got to also make a choice of what kind of person you're putting in the White House. You know, it's not so much about the politics or the money. You know what I mean? It's also about what kind of human being you're putting in there, and you're putting a guy that's full of hate and a guy that's clearly.
Does the environment matter to you?
Everything matters to me. Everything.
No. I'm just saying Trump.
Yeah.
Like if you're an environment person, because I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, the environment's my number one thing." Who'd you vote for? Trump.
Yeah. Well, no.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Right. So I mean, it is what it is, man. We're at a time in the country where we've hit a fork in the road, and we're gonna find out coming up here in November what way we want to go. Do we want to go deeper into the hole and keep spewing this hate? Then you keep the guy in place. And if you don't, and you want to get out of it, not that Biden is the answer, but at least he's not that. You know what I'm saying? He'll be incompetent with everything else, you know what I'm saying? But he's not a hateful person, and he's not going to be dividing the country, which is what this guy does on a consistent basis. And he's going after the racist group in this country. He's stirring it up so he can get the racist on his side, because that's how he feels he got elected last time, so he'll be able to do it again. You know what I mean? And then he'll sucker all the other people that think he's going to help them when he really isn't helping them at all. He's helping people that are in another tax bracket, brackets that you and I will never be in. But it's up to you, man. It's up to all of you out there to decide what you want to do and what direction you want this country to go in. The sad part is they don't give us any good candidates. Not Hillary, not Trump, not Biden, not Bernie, nothing, dude. That's really the real problem, is that neither party can come up with a good candidate. So we have to settle for one of the two. And then we have to create these arguments or discussions about what we think is the lesser of the two evils. So it's up to you to decide what is the lesser of two evils. That's it. That's all. Can't do anything else, man. You know? Dwyane Wade is in a ton of heat for showing support about Nick Cannon's comments about whites and Jews. Did not see that. What did he do? That might be something that has happened while we were on the air, and I have no idea what's going on. So I would have to see it to understand it. If any of you want to send me the link to it, I wouldn't mind. Let me see. I don't know where it's at here. I don't know where it's at. You guys are gonna have to send me the link here on all of this, and then I'll tell you what happened. I don't know what Wade did, and what can I tell you? I got to look it up. I got to see it. Oh, wait a minute. Apparently, Dwyane Wade apologized already. Yep, apparently he did. Let's see. I guess he goes, I want to clarify my now deleted tweet. I was not supporting or condoning what Nick Cannon specifically said, but I had expressed my support of him owning the content and brand he helped create. I was too quick to respond without being fully informed about his hurtful anti-Semitic remarks. As you all know, I have zero tolerance for any hate speech. Okay. See, I don't know what Nick Cannon said. I told you guys this last week, right? If you want equality and you want justice from people who are mistreating others, okay, then you also have to do the same thing. You also can't be hurtful. You can't be spewing hateful comments. Okay? So if Nick Cannon did that, he doesn't help anything by that. I just told you about the president. The guy that is sending hateful messages all the time. So this goes for Trump. This goes for every minority out there. You know, we can't fight for Black Lives Matter if you got people in the black community that are taking shots at other communities. We can't fight for the LGBT community if they're taking shots at other people, right? We can't do that. You know what I mean? If you want to, you need to set the example of respect and acceptance of all. You know what I mean? We're all going to have our issues with different people, but we can't generalize it. Because you have a problem with one person and they happen to be Baptist. You can't take it out on everybody that's Baptist. It's like, you know, when the president says, "Oh, Black Lives Movement is a hateful organization or whatever," and I'm not thinking about the organization. I'm thinking about black people in general. I don't care about the organization. That does nothing for me. I care about black people in general. I want them treated properly. I want them treated fairly. That's what I'm fighting for. You know what I mean? So if there's people that are awry, don't throw the entire group in with them. So maybe Nick Cannon had some problem with a person that's of Jewish descent that runs a company that he's dealing with. I hope you didn't use that and then take it out on everybody that's Jewish. That's ridiculous. You know, again, I'm speaking out of line to a certain extent here because I don't know exactly what Nick Cannon said, but obviously, if it was anti-Semitic and even Dwyane Wade realized it, I haven't even seen the comments. I don't need to hear anymore. Okay? Obviously, he realized that he was part of something that was disgusting. And anti-Semitism is gross. It's unacceptable at every level. Just like any kind of bias towards minorities, towards women, towards LGBT community, I don't care. I'm not for any of that stuff. So Dwyane Wade got himself in some hot water. Oh, man. Tell you. Jean-Luc says, one day there has to be more than two parties, but until then, vote this buffoon out of the White House. We have become the laughing stock of the world in 4 years. Well, we'll see if people have the common sense to do that in November. We'll find out. Sad part will be is watching Biden. Oh, my God. Ugh. You know, but what are you going to do? It's a position we're in. That's all we got. Until you can come up. And that's the other thing. You come up with a third party. The third party, all that does is take away votes from the Democratic Party. And then it helps whoever's the Republican. In this case, it would be Trump. So, like, they're talking about Kanye. Kanye's Trump's buddy, right? So I find it really interesting, the whole Kanye thing, because if Kanye would run, okay, I've heard a lot of my black friends, okay, have kind of like dissed Kanye for his, siding with Trump. So I'm thinking, and anybody out there that's in the black community, you can walk me through this and tell me I'm right or wrong here. But I'm assuming that most of the black community, outside of the punky kids that listen to rap and they know nothing about politics, and that's all punky kids all across the world, maybe they might vote for Kanye because they think Kanye's cool and he's a rapper and all that stuff, and they know nothing about politics. But I would imagine that the average black person that has, common sense and follows politics and knows Kanye's, linked to Trump, I would think that most of them would not vote for Kanye anyways. They will all say, yeah, dude, he's a rapper and he's out of his mind and there's no way I'm putting him in the White House. That's what I would think the average person would say in the black community. I mean, that's just me, okay? But whatever.
You have heard about the research they've done, and a lot of times the Republican Party pays for the independent party and backs them so that they could take away the votes from the Democrats.
Of course.
Because there's more Democrats actually registered than Republicans, and they figured out that if we just take 6% of the vote and that goes to the independent, we got a chance to win.
Yeah,
Bottom line.
Kelvin Smith says, Kanye is a sellout. You are spot on, Big O. I would figure that most logical people.
When he was in the Oval Office that day, yes.
Okay? Most logical people in the black community will say, Kanye's a clown. Get the hell out of here. The kids that love rapping and they don't care about politics, those are the only fools that will vote for him. You know what I mean? It's like having Eminem run. You'll have, just people that are just kids and fans that they don't follow politics, and they'll be voting for him just for that, because he's Eminem, because he's Kanye.
Yeah, they don't think of any of the ramifications of.
Yeah, they don't care about that. But I would think that most of the black community that follows politics and all that, they want no part of Kanye.
You heard some of the backlash that day when they were in the Oval Office together, man. Yeah, they were not happy with that.
Yep. Sage McKinley says, you are correct, sir, in the voice of Ed McMahon. Mike No-Go Zone says, Kanye has already withdrawn from the presidential race. Yeah, a race that he never got in, Mike. That guy's crazy, bro. That's one of those, moments that he had a crazy moment. He said,
had a momentary lapse of reason, right?
Yeah.
Momentary lapse of reason.
Remember what I told you last week when that was going on, that his family, there was a report coming out that his family's kind of concerned that he was having a bipolar moment. That's why all that went on. You know what I mean? But you got to be out of your mind to vote for a guy like Kanye. Give me a break, dude. That's nuts. Yeah. America's in between a rock and a hard place. Amen to that, bro. Amen to that. We are in a really, really tough place, man. Really tough place. What can I tell you? Huh? I'm voting for Kanye, yeah. Kanye for president, yes. I got to vote for him. Oh, man. Jean-Luc, thank you once again for the super chat. That was strong on your part. We got to thank Ray Grulong on the super chat, Cookie Vice, Cody Douglas, Omar Lopez, Julius 305, Myron Sanchez, Jean-Luc, all of you for chiming in on the super chat. We got to thank.
Recent research has shown
Super chat.
makes no sense.
Yeah, you're getting focused on all the wrong sort of details here. You need to forget about all the normal rules that apply in society.
Wasted no time. Super chat. I thought it was really, 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 really cool.
You should all be very proud of yourself.
I have no response.
Super chat.
That was perfect.
Thank you. Appreciate you all out there. Clee Torres says, thank you for coming out today. We know it was a long day for you yesterday. Yes,
it's a
it was.
long last segment, man.
Yes, it was.
You know, you're at an hour and 8 minutes and running.
Oh, okay. All right, well.
I'm just glad you upheld that 45-minute minimum standard, one segment every show. You've blown it away. We're on the other side of an hour and 8 minutes here.
All right, it's not bad. It's pretty decent. I appreciate you all out there. It was a long day. I didn't feel I had my fastball yesterday also in the pregame. I felt like I let the guys down. I didn't really feel really good. I didn't think I did a good job. I thought I let everybody else down. We were fine in the first broadcast. Everything went well in the second broadcast, except for me. I wasn't happy with my performance yesterday, I got to say. I don't know why, but it was just one of those things. But it happens. You got to be you got to look at it objectively and call it like it is. So we'll bounce back. We'll get on the horse again and get it done. Let's hope they can get a victory on Monday. Tomorrow, we will be at Toyota of Hollywood like we are every Thursday out there at 1841 North State Road 7. And it'll be our regular time, 11 a.m., that we'll be on tomorrow. And then on Friday, we'll be on over at Craig's Inn, Acura of Pembroke Pines. Probably around 10 or 11 also. We'll do that because we only have one show on Friday. Hialeah Park, as you all know, is closed for now as the casinos are, so we cannot go to Hialeah Park on Friday. So tomorrow, catch us at Toyota of Hollywood. And come on out and visit my boys out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Whether it's hookahs, whether it's water pipes, you name it, they've got it all out here for you. They've got the cleaners for the pipes. They've got stash cans. They've got dry herb vaporizers, all kinds of glass pipes, silicone pipes, grinders, e-juice for vaporizers. They've got a great selection of premium e-juice. They've got the rollers for you, incense, air freshener, sage, you name it. They've got so many items here. When you think about it, it's not a giant store, but yet it's giantly packed. You know what I mean? It's just pretty impressive, all the different little things.
Everywhere you look, something grabs your eye.
Yes, exactly. You need a new flask? You got all kinds of flasks here. You know, all kinds of...
Did you see the Joker backpack man on the wall?
Oh, the backpacks here are awesome. They got some great backpacks here. They've got all kinds of ashtrays, really groovy ashtrays. Rolling trays, all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you, just come on out here to VSS West Pines. They will take care of you. As always, mention my name, and they will definitely take care of you here at 12397 Pembroke Road. We'll be out here next Wednesday. Y'all be good. Much love.
Stay safe. Yes. Wash your hands.
Thanks to Bill and Philippe, as always, getting it done. And thanks to Jose and all the great people out here at VSS West Pines. We'll see you tomorrow.
An hour and 11 minutes to finish. We'll see you tomorrow.